you roll, spun out of control, and I've got the scars to prove it. You're a big screen drama queen, wander off and watch you scream. So cold but so hot. You're an old class white trash, royal bang right in the ass. But I'm here to stay. So you're a big screen drama queen, wander off and watch you scream. So cold but so hot. You're an old class white trash, royal bang right in the ass. But I'm here to stay. So bombs away. Bombs away. Bombs away. Bombs away. Bombs away. Put my heart on the line just to watch it crumble. Beat against the walls, but the cage won't rattle. I know that if I walk away, I'll be betrayed by the pattern. Should I keep my head in the game?
Hello, boys and girls. Let me get into my chat here and we are going to get started.
Worthy competitors.
Hello.
Suppose I should be present if I'm going to be present.
Oh, good pineapple go.
There we go.
Let me move my frame.
Well, welcome everybody.
Best fight of the whole year. I agree with you. This is going to redefine how people do mapping for all future endeavors. Like, I really can't imagine the world being the same once this is all said and done. It's been a lot of hype. I know a lot of people have been concerned with some of the things that have been said back and forth over Discord in several different Discord channels. But nonetheless, you gotta settle it somehow. Bridgeburner was smart enough to arbitrate and say, like, hey, I know y'all have beef, but this is a community of people who are supposed to be getting along. So what if we just put our money where our mouth is? And here we are.
Indeed. What better way to settle a difference than the hallowed arena that is mapping? Deathmatch is so passe.
All right.
So
Is that my cat screaming in the background?
there are birds here. So the contestants do not know the theme yet. I'm taking that close to my chest. This will be a judged event by me and Motherlope. Once it's all finished, so there will be a winner. Maybe some bad blood to spill out afterwards, but them's the breaks, and we'll play it straight and fair. So, introducing in the red corner, weighing in at 379,000 line deaths at a towering height of 4'2", we have Major the Booch, Arlene.
Hello, everyone. Good to be here. Good to be able to settle this like adults do. Somebody's gonna have a learning experience.
I'm sure they will.
And in the red corner, standing at over 20 feet tall, falling from a height equal to that to the ground of the roots of the palm tree, we have the amazing Blue Pine.
Hell, it's about time. I've been looking forward to this.
All right.
So,
Got her Psalms and her John 3:16, but Pineapple 3:16 says,
Pineapple fruit.
I don't know if you're worthy of that title, Pineapple.
Mm-mm-mm.
Maybe.
I think he's
All
worthy.
right.
I think he's going to prove us all.
We'll see. We'll see. Yeah. This
Get
is
on with
a
Get on with
little playing field. All right, so we are going to cut to the chase. I know you've all been waiting. We're going to start the official time in 1 minute. Mappers, are you ready?
I'm ready.
More than ready.
Well, without further ado, let's get ready to rumble! Alright, theme is a wrestling ring.
Oh.
Oh shit.
It can be abstract, it doesn't have to be as true a representation, although that is obviously an acceptable path to take. You can interpret it however you want. And yeah, standard bestiary resources. We got Green War, I believe, is the texture pack.
Yep.
That the contestants both agreed to. So I have no idea how well that suits a wrestling ring. So it's interesting. So that is the theme. Time starts now. You have 15 minutes to plan. Next Skies is always available to use, and you can obviously choose your MIDI as you see fit. Right. Let's watch these two at work.
All right.
To give you a little extra emphasis here, the wrestling ring is also known as the squared circle. So you can be really creative with this, I would imagine. I'm really excited to see what Blue Pineapple comes up with.
Yeah, that's a good point actually. Then with the load is that it's called the squared circle, and obviously you can probably draw some interesting aesthetic concepts from that. Very keen to see what our competitors come up with here for that. So just the fact, they did not know the theme until just now. So let's watch the panic.
Panic? Me panic? Absolutely fucking not. Maybe Pineapple would.
Everyone here. We've got a good crowd in so far. Thank you everyone for dropping in and watching this auspicious event. And big shout out to Motherload for helping us put this on. He is a consummate professional when it comes to this kind of stuff. We are just passion project streamers who enjoy this kind of memory. The theme is Pegleg. It is a wrestling ring. A squared circle. I should set up a timer actually. So we're 2 minutes into planning. Let's see if I can get a logo.
All right, I'll take a chat suggestion for the name. Name of my level.
And guys, if you have any suggestions, I will be happy to take them. All right.
More alliteration, the better.
All right. We're just gonna work off of our previous speed maps for a map info and all that.
Now, Bridge, I'm sure that myself and a lot of people watching would like to have a little more insight onto what the criteria are for a winning map. So what are they actually being judged on? What's our rubric?
I think that there's going to be essentially best artistic kind of take on it. Points for creativity and outside the box. I think will be awarded, but also it being recognisable as a wrestling arena will also go a long way to helping our contestants win. A mix of good adherence to the concept of a wrestling arena. But also taking that to a different area, a different direction, creatively as well. So, and then some the general kind of Doom map is this fun to play criteria as well. So there's kind of the three areas to judge it on: adherence to the concept of a wrestling arena, outside the box creativity, and classic Doom. Judging.
Did we decide on the Green War texture pack?
We did.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Okay.
I'll be using a Fukutin MIDI.
All right,
So
I am
it's
thinking this is
also-
going to be a nice little sky for us.
Short red torches, yeah.
It's already really
I
fun
agree.
right off the bat to see how the two of you have very different kind of starting moves here. So Arlene's gone straight to the skybox, whereas Blue Pineapple's already writing some script over here.
Yeah, so they're both going and writing what's called a map info lump, which will define things like sky and music. Blue Pineapple's written his from scratch. It looks like Arlene's copied an existing one.
I think that might
so-
be cheating. Might as
No,
well
that's
go ahead
a-
and call it right now.
No, as an experienced speed mapper, this is a common technique for people who know what they're doing. So I think Pineapple's just showing a bit of lack of experience, perhaps, in official speed
Or
mapping.
perhaps going the extra mile to show that he's got a real set of talent here. It's not just copy pasting.
Remains to be seen which technique's going to play off in the end. Blue Pineapple going for the ballsy call on the author name.
Yeah. Not only am I the greatest speed mapper here, but arguably one of the best mappers in the world. You know, sure, I may be getting started out, but yeah, I'll show y'all.
Yes, I'm sure your mantle full of CAC awards shows that.
Future Cake Awards, of course.
We're really gonna base talent on the CAC awards. Like, is that actually the mark of a true genius? Because I don't know. Arlene's on the council, so any CAC awards she gets, as far as I'm concerned, are maybe just a little bit illegitimate.
You can say that, but it is a panel. I doubt
Panel
Arlene's power.
of Dewsome. A panel. Come on.
I mean, you could ascribe Arlene that level of power if you.
Slaughter, thank you so much for the 100 bits! Miss Slaughter knows what a true mapper looks like over here. And by the way, if y'all don't follow Miss Slaughter, you better go follow her right the fuck now.
Miss Slaughter, now the social media manager for Running with Scissors, my dear friend Mike J, right here in lovely Tucson, Arizona.
Alright,
Very good.
let's find an acceptable final countdown, Minnie.
Why does my music stop playing?
Alright, I finished Slade. Are we all ready?
Alright, you're ready? Alright, so we've still got 9 minutes left on the countdown for the planning section.
Got that done in a bit of a hurry. You afraid of something?
No, I'm just quick.
Mm-hmm.
Quicker than you.
Being fast isn't always a good thing.
Oh, it is a speed mapping competition after all.
So, do we have any ideas what you guys are going to do? Pineapple? Any got any
Well-
plans, or you just
Hey, Multi, how's it going?
There's gonna be a ring.
hey, do some?
Mother Love, thank you very much for the follow. Actually, I need to listen to Convent today. That is the theme.
Waterfalls? Yeah, probably waterfalls. Pineapple does like his waterfalls. This is true.
Oh, certainly.
Don't go chasing him. That's what I've always said.
Pity follow. Ow. How dare. Alright.
I think, as much as I don't want to admit it, Pineapple has come up with a strong map title. I think he's definitely setting the bar high with his naming conventions here. I've got to admit that I'm impressed with his technique on that one. Gonna have to step up to the squared circle, as it were. Basically.
Well, I mean, a name is a name, but it's really about the content for me, so I don't put too much stock in my speed mapping names because I let the maps speak for themselves. I don't need a fancy name for them.
Yeah, but the name is the cherry on top, right? You gotta grab people's attention. You gotta show them that you know more about the outer kind of surface details as well as the juicy interior. That's a pineapple, right? Pineapples look great on the outside, right? But unlike a banana, a banana looks cool on the outside and it's a little lackluster on the inside. Pineapples? You got some
Pineapples
juicy-
also have spikes that you can't eat.
Yeah, but that's the exterior, right? That's the hard outer shell with the smooth, creamy yellow insides.
But pineapples are creamy?
I was about to say, that's a ruined pineapple if it's creamy.
If you do what he does to pineapples, they are infected.
Does Arlene go on pizza? That is a great question.
Pizza goes in Arlene.
All
No
right.
comment.
All right, are we ready? Because we've
ready.
got 6 minutes prep, but I think we can bring it down to a 10-minute prep time. We do have consummate professionals here on display, ladies and gentlemen. Do know what they're doing. So, hey Monty, how's it going? So 50 seconds to go, and then we'll be starting the mapping proper, and then as usual 2-hour time limits. To make your map, and then 15 minutes of testing and balancing if required. You can use that 15 minutes for whatever you want, and then I will be playing the maps and on the stream. We will judge them. See what they
Don't
come
forget.
up with. I'm very excited about this. 20 seconds to go.
Hey, stop mapping, Arlene.
I'm just making sure my Skype's working.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah, it looks like
yeah,
yet another example of someone trying to cheat.
No, given that they both have lines on the screen, I think this is all above board.
Let's just get to know build a one
All right, 5 seconds.
Both
Hey,
hands
don't
are up
forget.
right now.
Don't forget, if you want to wager for a competitor, you can donate to a charity.
Yep.
Oh yeah, do you guys want to announce your charities just before we get
Yep.
started?
So we
Certainly.
are over in my corner. We have the Central Virginia Horse Rescue. I am a big horse person at heart. That's how I grew up. Right now, with COVID going on, so many horses have been displaced from their homes. The rescues are needing your help more than ever. So please give them a little love. I am doing !WRESTLEMAPIA, and you guys can get the link to the charity. They go through PayPal. If you send me your donation screenshots, and I'm actually going to try to match you guys' donations if y'all donate. So,
So I've just posted both links to Arlene and Pineapple's charities in my voice chat. Pineapple, what charity are you?
I've got City with Dwellings, which is a homeless shelter organization based in my city, Winston-Salem, and it says what it is on the tin, you know, homeless shelter. They try and help homeless people just get through the
very
year.
good.
One of these competitors is trying to help other people, while the other one only cares about animals.
I think they're both worthy charities. Any charity's a good one.
Oh
And,
yeah, any charity's a good one.
Yeah, they're both good charities. But they're both good.
thank you, Man with a Gun and Motherload. Thank you for the donation.
In the red
Oh,
corner,
did you-
Major Arlene, are you ready?
I am ready.
Mr. Pineapple in the blue corner, are you ready?
I'm ready. My hands are up.
Ready, set, map! And we're off. 2 hours starting now. Alright.
See, I can't be sure that Arlene wasn't already working. Her hands never came up.
My hands did come up at one point. You just weren't paying attention.
Yeah, but then they went back down and straight back to work.
Well, we can always check the VOD if need be. I'm not opposed to that.
That is true. With this all being recorded, obviously, so we can check for any indiscretions or shifty play on the tape. We need to disqualify anyone. All right. So what we've got here, let's see. Pineapple starting off with the ellipse tool, going for a 12-sided shape there. Arlene's going for a slightly more esoteric shape. Still 12-sided, but it's got a more of a diamond profile. So I'm curious to see how these come out.
Yeah, dodecagonal arena. Very Madison Square Garden inspired, I would say.
No, good shape, good solid shapes I think from both competitors so far. Looks like Arlene's gone for a nice cityscape sky, which I'd say would be definitely a more traditional take on a wrestling arena, being in a city. What's Pineapple? Pineapple's gone for something a bit more abstract, blood red.
Wrestling in hell, maybe.
Yeah.
Wrestling with my demons.
Wrestling with the devil.
The devil went down to New Zealand. He was looking for a capital word to steal.
Ironically, the last speed mapping session that we did organise in the Hellforge, someone made a proper wrestling arena.
40! Speak of the devil, we were talking about you, 40. You should definitely commentate on one of these things.
Nan made a very good map, which would have fit quite well with this. Hey, 40 ounce. Sorry, 40 Lions.
Put a spider demon in the map. That is a good
So,
suggestion.
Last night I had, like something like 90 people watching the I believe it was the Zen Sports tournament that was going on for Diabolical. And I was like, oh, we should raid 40 Lions, right? Because he, has done really good for things for him to keep in the past, and let's just give a little love back. And I raid him, and then I realized he's playing chess with Squeeze Toy, and they're both drunk.
Amazing.
That sounds like a good raid.
Well, sir, if you are willing to stay and watch and learn, I would be absolutely honored.
Don't worry, 40. I don't know what's going on either.
I mean, that's pretty standard, I think, for everyone around here. So yeah, we've got again 2 quite different takes. Pineapple's arena here is much like say pretty standard kind of wrestling ring size, whereas Arlene's going for a much larger play space here. So I think we're already detecting some differences in design here, which I'll be interested to see how they play out over the next 2 hours.
Alright, let's see what a good trim texture is going to look like for this guy.
Already liking the link post we're seeing come out of Blue Up. I know.
No, I agree there, Mother Luke. They're very recognisable shapes there.
We don't have very many horizontal lights, so that kind of stinks. Oh, I think that might do. Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, Blue, man with gun. Sorry, I'm gonna there's a lot of chat, and I'm probably gonna miss. Apologies, everyone, but I'll try and keep up. Hello, Endless. We got Alpha, Lottie, Warren Light, DFC, man with gun, little rough, Breezy, Jimmy. Yeah.
Jimmy.
Hello.
Jimmy?
Jimmy.
Pegleg, in response to your comment here, I don't know if you recall, but in Left 4 Dead 2, you can actually make Macho Man Randy Savage one of the monsters.
Amazing.
We're using Green War, Piglet. Jimmy.
Okay, whoa. Do we have to use exclusively Green War, or can we use some of the standard Doom 2 text as well?
Oh, of course you can. I am.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Standard.
Just
Doom
wanted
text
to
up.
double check and make sure, because I was like, this may not work.
That's fine.
Do I have a plan for this? No, I literally just learned of the theme, like, just now, so I'm just sort of rolling with it.
Yeah, so Aletheos, this will probably not be the only time we do this, and yeah, it's a bit done on the fly. So I think next time we'll be planning a bit further ahead of time to set up donation counters and the like. I'm sure Arlene and Pineapple will be able to let everyone know what the totals raised are. Alright, so we're just 5 minutes in. Methods are making good progress so far. I think we've both got a good flow on. Look like they know what they're doing. Got a plan in place, which is always the sign of a good speed mapper is they don't stop moving, or not for very long. That analysis paralysis is what you want to avoid when you've got a limited time frame to make a map for.
Something interesting coming out of Blue Pineapple. It appears he's already built a ramp and potentially some sort of entryway, like a gorilla position, Titantron area. It's going to be really fun to see how that plays out.
Yeah, no, he's obviously expanding out on the wider space now. Arlene's gone and made her ropes, which come out quite nicely. Nice use of the mid-text there. I was wondering how our mappers would go about that. I was half expecting some 3D floor usage. But the mid-text there is working well. Ooh, I think Pineapple's just made a bit of a rookie mistake using a 20-sided ellipse. It's not going to be a perfect ellipse.
That ain't good.
Oh, I'm glad you're enjoying it, Blood. We are definitely having fun.
Hey, that's well.
He stole his life.
As with most everything around here, I'm assuming this is going to end up in GZ Doom Alethios.
Yeah, I think so. That's fair. That is one of the standard rules with the Hellforge speed mapping competitions. Is you can use any format you want as long as it runs in GZ Doom, which is the easiest way to allow flexibility to the mappers, but then make it easy to play and compile. Circle's not centered there, Pineapple.
Given the theme, I'm actually surprised that this will not be a deathmatch arena, because it would be really interesting, right, to have a, you know, we've all seen wrestling matches that were like street fights where they go and you go to the parking lot, you go up to the stage, you go backstage, you go to the locker room, end up back in the ring. It'd be really fun.
You have just given me an idea, Motherload, which we can discuss. I think we'll discuss offline. I think we've just got our follow-on events. No.
Oh look, speak of the devil, Deucem has showed up, probably to support his fellow sister in arms over at the Cackle Awards.
Oh, dude.
Can't be sure he's not going to be throwing Arlene some, we'll call them foreign objects.
No, we're going for a clean match here. Any outside ring assistance will of course lead to disqualifications.
And if we see Arlene pulling any chairs out from under the stage, we'll know exactly who put them there.
Yes, Evil Grand speed mapping is a good kind of baptism of fire way to learn how to map quickly. You definitely very good at focusing your workflow. Taking bets. Bets are done via donating to the charities, I believe.
Jimmy, there will be a follow-on event, but if you participate, you must change your name to Jimmy Scored Circle.
Yes. Jimmy, the next Hellforge speed mapping session will build on what we're doing here. So we will be having another wrestling themed event in the near future. January speed mapping. Watch this space.
Alethios made a good point, Bridge. I think we should refrain, probably since they can hear us, from pointing out mistakes.
I would have thought someone tough and resilient like Pineapple could.
Yeah, I don't mind.
I think Pineapple can handle it. Like, people are taking notice. But
No,
to you,
I'm sure Arlene's going to make some inaccuracies that I definitely have to pick on.
I'm sure Arlene's inaccuracies will be far less obvious from the get-go, and we'll find them later.
I want you to have some trouble right now getting these squares all lined up. Just feeling a bit of the pressure here. Our hero, and trying to get these teleport stuff all aligned properly. Nice 45-degree angles, but not quite working out at the moment.
Another interesting factor that we probably could go with pointing out is that Blue Pineapple is not currently, like, being boastful and streaming everything. He's like comfortable to just do the work, whereas Arlene's kind of feeding her ego over here. You can see there are several people watching her feed, and she's interacting with chat while doing this. So I'm wondering if that's going to play any.
That's because I know how to multitask.
That's fine. Nobody's.
You do
we're not
raise
casting stones. We're just objective commentary, Arlene.
Yeah, the element of distraction is a good point there, and speed mapping is something that you do not want to be distracted. So it will be a test of Arlene's mental focus to be able to, one, put up with the pressure of the event, and two, deal with an active chat as people cheer her on. But I'm sure a consummate professional like herself will be able to deal with it.
Already really enjoying the Titantron stage area that we're seeing come together slowly on Pineapple's side. It is
already.
No, I was just saying it's worthy of Jeff Hardy jumping off the top of, for sure. I was actually that happened in Mobile, Alabama, and I was there. It was SmackDown, and yeah.
Nice.
Jeff Hardy jumps off the top of the Titantron, basically almost killing himself.
Jeff Hardy is a bad motherfucker. Just no respect for his own body. and yeah, very entertaining wrestler. But I agree that the whole entrance presentation is a big part of wrestling. Important to have the crowd to get that great first impression from the athletes walking down from the top there.
Indubitably.
Hey, Cinder Thief.
Cinder!
You're here for the very first WrestleMapia event. We've got Blue Pineapple versus Major Arlene. We're just not even 15 minutes into the build time. Still early days. But 2 hours to make a wrestling ring. Mick Foley was fucking insane. He definitely the most. Because Jeff Hardy's madness was also couched in his athleticism, whereas Mick Foley was just in pure pain tolerance.
I'll never forget seeing him jump off the top, or go through the top of the cell, stand up with a tooth in his nose. Right. That's a man, if I ever saw one.
No, that's a very, very tough human. I remember watching him fight the Edge in a no holds barred match, and I was actually really impressed with how the Edge took the punishment. Mankind did his usual Mankind thing, but all credit to the Edge. It was a bit of a, you call him a bit of a pretty boy, good-looking man. He took the beatings. Like Mick Foley dropped him, suplexed him onto a bed of thumbtacks.
I've actually seen a lot of backstage commentary on how that match particularly went, and Edge was determined, like, if I'm going to step in the ring with one of the greatest of all time, I'm bringing it, right? Like,
yeah, fuck yeah, he brought it.
See, Mick Foley versus The Rock in a street fight is one of the, I actually can't watch it anymore. It's a little too much, because I think The Rock hits him in the head with a chair no less than like 30 times. And yeah, having suffered from a concussion before, it's very uncomfortable to watch. But that's the difference between, The Rock, and I have nothing against The Rock. He's a legend, but was not willing to. He was willing to dish it out, but I don't know that he could have taken it the way that Edge did.
Yeah, no, I think I was very surprised the Edge was willing to step up that to the plate that in such a big way, and was a hell of a match. Yeah, one of the few that I can remember almost the entirety of, even after all these years. Mr. Sweet Pea? Yeah, to support the pineapple? Better than Lord Entropy. Cactus Jake, yeah, dude, love. Yeah, the mini face of Foley.
That's what we used to make stables in the wrestling games called the mini faces of Foley. We have all 4 versions.
So back to, it's interesting seeing their various focuses at the moment, and Pineapple's still building its pretty epic-looking entrance scene here. It's got some inverted crosses, which some mob faces, which
obviously taking a page out of Technicolor Enterprise Fox, if I do say so myself.
Never played it.
You just played the Startane version, didn't you?
Yeah, I did. It was rather underwhelming. But
Well,
better visuals and Terracanic.
As far as staying on theme here, I can say just from the initial layout, Arlene's map is a lot more abstract already. It seems more like a gladiator's arena than necessarily like a straight-up wrestling map, which is points for creativity, no doubt. As far as recognizability, though, I think Pineapple's off to a great start.
Yeah, I'd be inclined to agree there, but Pineapple's has definitely got that classic wrestling arena setup there. But I'm excited to see where Arlene takes her abstract design. I think she'll impress us with what she comes up with.
I've never not been impressed by Arlene's ability to, scratch her own back.
You're just
Pineapple's
still
already
attracting yours.
Broken out the dreaded fire blue. Bold move. Will it pay off?
Certainly.
Really liking the entrance. That's a beautiful kind of staging area. There's a little more reminiscent of something from a Japanese, like, if anyone here has ever seen Wrestle Kingdom, or they just go over the top with the pageantry and everything. It's a beautiful take on it. So I'll give Arlene points there.
Actually, I've never actually seen any Japanese wrestling, but I think you're right. Their flair for theatrics would serve them well in very over the top, bombastic presentation.
Well, if the COVID ever calms down, Bridge, you and me should take it's basically like a week-long endeavor, but we should go to Wrestle Kingdom and watch the insanity play out.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
It's one of my bucket list items for life is to visit that.
I can actually too as well, Cinder. It's a weird thing that I've been proud of since I was like 6. I can actually scratch every part of my back.
Hey, Lem, more or less. We'll yeah. Just see where it takes us. This is also a charity event for us guys, so if you do ! WrestleMapia, have a look at the charities we are funding today.
I must apologize. I've been calling it Mapamania the whole time.
Cinder, thank you very much for the bits, you lovely human. I hope you're doing well today.
So the theme, is a wrestling arena. The squared circle, that is the theme. They can interpret that how they wish. Points for being recognizable as a wrestling arena, but also for creativity. So, you know, very keen to see some abstract takes and whatnot. And then third criteria will be just actually how does the map play as a, you know, objectively as a Doom map.
How's our time looking?
You are at 1 minute and 40 seconds. Or sorry, 1 hour 40 minutes.
Yeah, so good. Almost the first 20 minutes. So it goes. I think you know, shout out to both of them. Making really good progress here. They've both been workflow, moving quickly, making fast decisions, and not getting too hung up on too many things. It's the death of speed mapping is when you start questioning yourself and trying to overthink or overwork certain areas. So yeah, they're both doing well.
Technically, the UFC style ring would be an octagon, whereas Arlene's take on this is a far more complex shape.
But I suppose it would be, yeah, it is probably closer to an MMA style ring, or Hell in a Cell perhaps. Actually, a Hell in a Cell style map would be pretty cool.
You just locked inside the cell with like 6 cyber demons.
Yeah, that's a release one at a time. That actually is not a bad fight concept.
Gauntlet match.
Yeah, for any Doom map, to be honest. I might actually note that. I might.
We're only judging based on the beauty currently, but like I am highly interested to see the gameplay. You know, how do you make Doom gameplay work inside of a wrestling ring? How does the scaling fit the situation? As we can already see, like Pineapple's Doom guy standing in the center of the map. It's not like the biggest wrestling ring in the world. It's not exactly something you can envision 800 demons fighting him. But as we said earlier, like potentially the entire arena, not just the ring itself, to come into play.
Yes. And you know, there are obviously options for our mappers to use some scripting. They might want to get ambitious with their code design. It's not just about the map itself, what you see in front of you. There's lots of potential for you know, arena changes, you know, floors to lower down and areas to open up. So, good point, Motherload. Very curious to see what we come up with, our mappers come up with for gameplay. It's very little into that so far.
Arlene's got this interesting Dance Dance Revolution stage setup going on.
One thing it does look like our mappers had is a clear idea of what they're doing. Whether or not that's true, or they're just very good at going on the fly, but they both look like they've got a good idea of what they want to implement gameplay-wise. You know, we've got Blue Pineapple here laying down some first interactable objects, a bunch of weapons and ammo, and a huge collection of soul spheres, which implies that he's being gentle to the player. Which I somehow doubt. Being very generous with health, but I think it means that there could be playing some pretty spicy combat.
Little known fact, because many people play Doom in different ways. I have a keyboard Doomer, right? Strictly still plays Doom with a keyboard. What is that damn thing called with the circle?
Trackpad?
sphere? Yeah.
Oh, the rollable. Yeah.
And then, you know, Arlene notably actually plays Doom with a DDR pad. No mouse, no keyboard. Right in the
I can't confirm. I've seen it.
No, that's not a surprising factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that going down map 15 is a good example, Sleepy. I think, yeah, actually, very, very good example. So this is a, this is the first competitive speed mapping wrestling themed speed mapping that I know of. There is a history, a rich history of gladiatorial arenas done in Doom. So, yeah, going down map 15 is a classic. Very cool fight, that one. So yeah, it's not an overdone trope, but it is a done thing by some mappers.
Can't fight if you ain't cute. Let's fucking go.
Yeah, Arlene, I don't think you're mapping hard enough. I think you need a little bit more motivation.
So that's
How's
not.
this? One more wager. If you lose, I'm gonna mention, not an award, a mention in the 2021 Keiko Awards.
Oh, well, you'll have to make something worthy first.
I don't know, you could comment on us
beat you.
here.
Yeah, if you do it here, perhaps.
From an objective point of view, it very much seems that, you know, Bridgeburner being the commissioner of this, you know, mapping federation, this wrestling mapping federation, it definitely plays in your favor to give Bridgeburner a little scratch on the back, right? And we all read what Arlene wrote in the CAC Awards, specifically. Bridgeburner took home basically all the awards available. So it is potentially a factor here. We can't pretend like it's totally objective here.
Well, it's funny how you think I keep play favorites. I really don't.
Yeah.
That's okay. You know, if you want to make it in the WWF, you have to, you know, show Mr. McMahon some love. And if you want to make it in the WrestleMapia Doom Hellforge thing federation, whatever the fuck you guys are calling it, you gotta give Bridge a little love.
Bridge McMahon.
And that's one of the things that I respect most about Pineapple.
Hey,
is
thank you for the vote.
Excuse me, why?
All right, so we've got some gameplay from Pineapple. Starting off with a kind of Rubik's-esque surrounded monsters facing away start.
Yes, already a classic-looking sort of slaughter situation to start off.
What's happened?
So back to
Which
what you were
seems to
saying
be in
earlier.
vogue lately.
It is a popular mapping style these at the moment. But you know, you were saying earlier, Motherload, you know, that central piece didn't look like a place you could put a lot of gameplay, but it looks like Pineapple's keeping the ropes off the ring, and the fight's going to be outside, so out in the crowd. Pretty hardcore. Yes, no, good point, John. Mr. Sweepy here has released his first map, so just a quick little shout out to him. Just posted a link in the chat if you want to give it a play. We've been working on that the last few weeks. We will be playing it tomorrow on the stream. Looking forward to it. So congrats, John, on your very first map.
It's actually quite an interesting point, Sweet Pea, about the hellish look on Arlene's side. We were initially started off in the commentary commenting on the skyboxes, right? Because Arlene, as you can see, has chosen a more cityscape skybox. So we were expecting something a little more like Madison Square Garden, whereas Pineapple actually has a hellish-looking skybox. I expected that to be the theme, but we were starting to get a little bit of a crossover as they continue on their.
No, it's good subversion of expectations there. Actually, I think. Pineapple, if you hold down Shift, it will only do additive select when you're doing the paint.
Don't help him.
Ooh, interesting turn of events.
Sweet. Thanks, pretty.
Some things are bigger than any favoritism, and good efficient mapping is something that I will stand up for.
Yeah, see, Arlene, you remember when The Rock, right, was the corporate champion, and then Vince McMahon turned on him. You can never quite trust someone who has a business reason to continue on. So if you stop saying the hot shit, right, you're the shiny new toy right now. But if Pineapple becomes the shiny new toy, we'll see who Bridgeburner's favorite goes to.
I am an impartial observer, and I'm just a curator of these events.
He'll come back to me, don't worry.
You love the sport.
I do.
Alright, let's get the outside of this set up.
Pineapple choosing to listen to a little Primus.
Looking for some energetic music. Yeah, it's gonna. What if that's gonna inform a bit of his mapping design, a bit of chaos, a bit of madness. Yeah. So, Aletheos, you can paint select. Its middle mouse button as the standard binding. Hold shift for additive select. Hold control for subtractive select.
Top
Yes,
48 should be
yeah.
okay.
There's also a paint select mode in 3D as well, but you do have to bind that is not automatically bound. And it's little tricks like these that getting the hang of really help with your speed mapping. You'll be able to just select things quickly. Makes a big difference. I've got an MMO in the Warpahog. Mouse has got 12 buttons on the side. Yeah, great for hotkeying. Shortcuts too. Things like ellipse tool and curve line stuff. Stair builder, the things I use a lot of. Something I want. Oh, there'll definitely be heals, Leo.
No.
Alright, we are just coming up to the half-hour mark.
Oh shit.
Quarter of the way through. Hey, thanks for the host, buddy. He's up for a fighting game.
Let's make this evened up.
Looks like Arlene's starting to build some grandstand style seating on the sides. I think we're seeing two different takes on the theme. While they might, outwardly they both look like they're going to be big arenas, which makes sense given that there's a wrestling theme. There's definitely some differences in design, looking forward to seeing how it's going to go. Because Arlene hasn't actually placed any gameplay elements yet. As Pineapple started fleshing out the initial fight, obviously wanting to get that locked down in his mind, knowing how that's going to work. So I don't know if Arlene's got in her head what she wants to do, or she's just going to make that decision later.
I got a plan, don't worry.
Will you be able to follow through with it?
Of course I will. I know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Some confidence there from Arlene. I think deserved confidence given her resume. Nice, Aletheos. Very handy button, that one. And yeah, like I said, it's incredibly useful. It's the one of the better finds in terms of key bindings that I wasn't aware of about a year ago. Well, we do actually have our cam set up. Should we do another load so that we're focusing on the mappers here? But how's it going, everyone? Hope you're all doing well. Here he is.
Hey, Larry.
Love all those beautiful folks.
Looks like my camera's a bit out of. Let me fix that. No, it's just really shaping off to be a great day.
No,
I've been excited for this for, I don't know how long we've been planning this thing, like a month or so.
yeah, about that. Yeah, so 4 or 5 weeks.
When,
You know,
when you said a wrestling themed Doom event, I mean, like, could I be any more qualified for a job?
exactly.
I don't think I've ever heard a job description that I could just, like, I don't even,
This is the thing. I didn't even have to apply. It's just I've got it.
the only person more qualified for this than me is probably Chris Holden from Slipgate Ironworks 3D Realms, currently working on
If
Craven.
it was a Quake, themed wrestling, I'd say Chris would take it. So
I think
doing
that
all of
Chris could probably show up unprepared to a
Yeah,
Doom
probably.
event. He's one of the true greats, the GOATs. He's just moved on to bigger and better things at this point. He actually, not sure if you guys are familiar with this, but Graven is actually in Unreal 4, and he pioneered a way for it to actually show. So basically the mappers are creating things in Trench Room, you know, textureless, and then importing that into Unreal 4, which is why you get this really true, honest kind of Quake level design inside of that engine. It's absolutely magnificent. And for those that didn't get the chance to play the demo, I feel sorry for you.
You know, it's pretty pioneering, pretty well, it's interesting, like as a concept, like be able to export the trench broom design as an OBJ. It's, when you think about it, it's not that out there an idea, but no one's had it before. And I think, you know, huge points to Chris for just go, hang on a sec, can we make this work? And he's come up with a really good workflow. It sounds like all the other mappers are loving it, and it's allowing them to not just make these great old school designs, but make them really quickly as well. Because UE4 is not the fastest engine to work in, but being able to build your level in trench broom, particularly if you're as consummate as someone like Chris, a fraction of the time, I imagine. It'd be like me making maps in Ultimate Doom Builder and then exporting it to Unity, which is a thing that you can do. So I'm looking forward to seeing that technique spread through the industry. I think we might see some interesting designs come out of that.
And the real beauty of it, from my perspective, is the fact that it takes these people who are extremely talented, you know, at mapping and trench room for Quake, and giving them an opportunity to work on something that's a, you know, borderline AAA project. And you have people like JCD, people like Dump Truck working on a, you know, a real commercial game is one of the most exciting things that I, as a Quake fan, could possibly be viewing. So
You've also got
there's
things like
still a lot of perspective for Wrath as well.
I'm like yourself. I'm very happy to see essentially these passion mappers be able to turn their love into a career. I think they make better. You can feel the love in their designs more so than you can in a AAA project. There's true fans of genres, not just I studied game design and I'll just make whatever game is put in front of me.
Yeah, when you have someone who's had 10, 15, 20 years experience mapping, that's obviously very different than like, oh, let's hire some interns who have the latest idea of like how Unreal 4 or Unreal 5 even are supposed to work. Not to say that they're not capable, and obviously we see a lot of really great things from, you know, people with less experience, but that's nothing in comparison to the experience for someone like JCD, or from Dump Truck, from JCR, from Chris Holden, from Scarecrow. Just pales in comparison.
No, definitely, and I think there's something to be said, you know, because I work in construction, it's very similar. You get these people that come out of university with a construction management degree, which does teach them a lot, don't get me wrong, it's still actually a qualification, but there's a difference between that theoretical knowledge and the practical knowledge of someone who's been working on sites for 15 years. And I think you see that in game design, people who, and it doesn't matter what for, but they've been making stuff for half their life kind of thing. It gives them a skill base and kind of like a sense of the art form that pure theory does not. I think we're in a FPS gaming is in a very good state at the moment. I'm very excited to see what the next 5 years will bring. There'll be a glut on the market, I think, but there's just so much good stuff coming out at the moment and good stuff in the pipeline. It doesn't look like it's going to dry up anytime soon.
For those in chat mentioning the podcast right now, thank you first of all. And second of all, I believe that we're going to have some really exciting stuff coming up pretty soon with some of the people here in chat that I hope that you will enjoy.
Are you going to have me on?
You're always welcome on the podcast. You're my favorite wrestler.
One thing we are looking at started setting up for is just mentioning that something a bit less formal than keeps usual work, but part of the 24-hour stream at the end of the year, we'll be doing a live podcast, getting some pretty cool people on to interview. So watch space for that, and I'm sure Motherlode's got other more official things coming up. Jason, you just had one with Jason from Proteus pop out of the woodwork. Very excited for. Making a lot of podcasts like that, actually.
I'm keeping my usual tempo.
Yeah, very impressive production.
Although I did accidentally release Jason's podcast a day
I
early.
didn't see that.
Whoops. All right.
I have a couple of really cool guests. I have Quick Tequila, creator of Lovely Planet, coming up I think around New Year's time, and before that I plan to release one with Alex Pixie of 3D Realms, marketing director of 3D Realms. So those will be really cool. And I've got some other ones kind of in the back pocket, but I don't want to go promising things I can't absolutely promise it.
No, like you've shown a pretty consummate ability to blend, significant, industry figures, but you're also very good at getting in lesser known people who do have good insights, behind the, people are behind the scenes of these various companies, or they're involved in marketing, and you don't see them, their names writ large in game releases, but that's still very important work. And a big part of why these games are as good as they are.
Well, to me, the point of the bigger guests is to attract more people to the podcast, so that hopefully they'll listen to the ones with like a Major Arlene or a Bridge Burner or a you name it. Wadaholic was one of my favorite guests of all time, and I feel like that's like one of the least downloaded ones because he's just not as well known. Outside of
like. Exactly, but even within the Doom community, like he's just a very quiet person. Like it's funny because Mr. Cat, he worked with Wadaholic on Total Chaos, and he's just like Wadaholic's just a very reserved person. He doesn't put himself up. He's quite happy to work quietly behind the scenes and it's amazing work. But it's really good that you do look for those lesser known names and try and give them some much deserved publicity. Because Wadaholic's a Kiwi as well.
We are starting to see a really interesting stair design on the part of Blue Pineapple. What is this? Worms? It looks like, or guts. It's kind of icky looking, but I like it.
It's like
I really like the actual shape of this.
No, I like it.
It looks very much. Yeah. It's starting to look very much like a real wrestling ramp, though. Other than the guts, but even maybe after the match, there's guts everywhere.
You get some good gut splitters. Arlene has taken her a little while to get there, but we've got her first pentagram, drawing upon objectively the coolest shape, and putting one of those. I'm expecting a few to appear, so no surprises there, but always good to see and do that. I think no one's gonna begrudge her a few pentagrams.
Shout out to our Wickham fans out there. Just to give you guys a heads up, we are now below the 1 minute or 1 hour 20-minute mark.
Oh shit.
Is that panic I'm hearing?
Oh, someone's got
A little bit.
No. I don't panic.
Panic doesn't look good on you, Pineapple.
Some sass flying out of Major Arlene. Laying a bit of flack off there.
Here, tell you what, I need to take a break anyway. I'll give you a little bit of a head start.
Whoa, throwing shade. intimidate the runner-up here, the underdog.
And we're back.
Alright, work.
It's quite fair. I think that's a little bit of a shady
It's just,
tactic. Obviously, not out of the it's not outside of the rules, but a little shady.
Like, you can't really, you know, she's just confident in her ability and very calm. And if that intimidates Blue Pineapple, well,
I guess
This
it's not
pentagram
outside
isn't
the
right. Cunt.
Not outside the rules,
Right.
but I'm gonna take
Let's,
myself off
let's,
camera and grab some more coffee while you guys argue.
back to the
Something's not
matters.
right.
Interesting, Arlene's going to completely drawing another one. Did you delete your first attempt there, Arlene?
I just undid it.
Okay.
What did I fuck up? Alright, that's better. Once we do
So
one,
Arlene's struggling
easy
there a
peasy.
little bit with the pentagram, which is surprising. Conkiness. Hey, Conky. It would be a terrible time for Arlene to draw. I would have words with her. She forgot how to draw a pentagram.
No, I had the wrong ellipse. But that's
Well
okay.
chosen. I'm very upset. So thanks everyone for dropping in to watch this. Got a shout out to everyone's respective charities that they're raising money for here. So if you can, please donate. And thank you to everyone who's done the community boost challenge, which you use the channel points to boost. Apparently it boosts the stream visibility if you have a certain number. I don't actually know what that number is. So feel free to yeet your mind gifts at that. I know it's tempting to make me kill things instead, and that is also fine. There will be Man with a Gun. I'm actually cooking up the next event, which will be more of a Royal Rumble style thing. Open invites. We'll put together the rules over the next few days, next week or so. After this, we'll build off this definitely. This has been a huge amount of fun already. I think it could be anyone. It could be anyone, Man with a Gun. Like I said, it'll be open, fully open to the community, Helpless community. Anyone who wants to join can. And it's going to be a lot more chaotic. There'll be a lot more planning on my part and other loads. But I think everyone's going to really enjoy it. It's going to be a heap of fun. Hey, thanks for the boost, Mark and Sympathy. That's fine, mate. Like, so the rules with the Hellforge speed mapping are the same for this. You can map in any format, as long as it works in GZ Doom, as long as it's playable.
Thank you,
so people like, make vanilla maps. Although I think for what I have planned, it'll be as long as it works in Sandrone. Because I think we'll play up on some competitive gameplay elements. Well, I quite like what Pineapple's doing here, building some arched windows. Always a fan of those. Nice classic arch shape there. Using his favoured G-stone, which is a classic texture. Back when I used to use vanilla textures a lot, one of my favourites as well. Flames Andrew, exactly.
Well, we do not have a player start yet, so I think we should work on that.
So, lost a clock, here we go. Just coming up to the 50-minute mark soon.
No pressure.
Oh, none at all.
Hey Leo, thanks for the boost. Boost the stream.
Can't.
What's wrong, Arlene?
Oh, nothing.
I stumbled
Oh.
something wrong.
We've hit it. We've hit the boost. Oh, thank you, everyone. Don't know if that'll do anything, but we did it, Reddit, yeah. Thank you for this arbitrary thing. No, this is quite a nice arch shape that that Blue Pineapple's building here. It's obviously got something in mind because he's agonising a little bit over the design here. But can't blame him. Arch is tricky to build.
Fuck.
Thanks, Oh, Scuba, it is the new. So this is another new tool that Pineapple's using here. One I need to do a tutorial on, which is the Arch tool. Because Boris, in his infinite skill, created a new feature called a slope handle, which essentially creates a pivot point on a line and then a movement point on another parallel line, and you just move that sector up and down. And the Arch tool uses that new feature to create smooth, seamless arches. It does all the calculations for you. It is an incredible piece of work from Boris. He's an absolute legend for it. I think that we've... Okay, boost goal 25% reach. I think you can only do it once per join? I'm not sure. Where's one of the streams? I haven't got these.
Pineapple is doing an excellent job here designing these walls that go around the arena. Actually putting some windows in there so you can really see that skybox shine through. Something for some reason I've noticed a lot of mappers are afraid to do. Like they're like, I don't really like to do that. And I've never understood quite why.
You do see it. You do see it from some mappers quite commonly. But yeah, it's not done by everyone. And we're just talking about his use of the Arch tool here, and it's a bold design to go for, and a speed map is to try and build something of that's purely visual, but that's also this complex. So if he's going to commit to it, he's got a fair amount of work ahead of him. Because if he just does one, well, it's going to look a bit odd. But if he can pull it off and get the whole arena so ringed in something like this, then it will look quite striking.
Now Arlene really going the extra mile with her inverted cross here. I'm really liking it, starting to line up, and a lot of extra little details, very bridge burner-esque attention to detail.
I'm liking these light textures around. It's quite an interesting choice. I think it's working well as a little border around that.
Oh, General Vivi here to shill for Arlene.
Oh shit! Hi.
Because you always put your money on Hulk Hogan, right? You always want to put your money straight on him.
How's it going?
Yeah, I'll see how it is. To be honest, it's a safe bet that Arlene will win because, the town favorite always gets favored.
Yeah. Now respect for the new blood.
Also, this will be judged fairly. We've got our criteria.
These alignments. Fuck.
Hey, Jared. Yeah, welcome in, Vivi.
I don't know a lot of majors that get to interact with generals, to be honest.
Well, this one does.
Vivi, of course, is one of the lead devs for Proteus.
We were just talking about him earlier.
We were indeed. Was on podcast with In the Keep recently. Aquila. Aquila's on Team Arlene. Yeah, that's people are definitely ahead of you, Man with a Gun. We've got a proving to be a popular event so far. So,
Man with Gun would be a fantastic contestant in this.
Not a show for the everyone's copy it for everyone's charities. Blue Pineapple for support for local homeless shelters, and Arlene donations to local horse rescue.
Because Arlene is the horse girl. Remember from high school?
That's respectful.
She's like getting on the bus, and she's got the picture with all the different types of like the little book. It's like these are all the different types of horses, and like, what are you into? I just love horses. Like they're so majestic and like.
She does love her horses. This is true.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with having a passion. You know, I know that some people are really passionate about doom mapping, and others are really passionate about horses.
Why not both?
That's fine.
I'm passionate.
Porque no los dos?
Winning.
Pineapple's very focused here. It's clearly putting a lot of effort into his work, and yeah, like I said, I'm admiring the ambition here with these archers, but this is where it gets tricky. It's trying to get these repeating elements to line
Hey,
up. around the
Horizon,
left.
it's going.
It is not as easy as it looks.
Definitely not easy considering it's I believe this arena is in the shape of a dodecagon, which is going to be very difficult, I think, to make everything look even on.
I think he ended up with a 26-sided ellipse, if I recall correctly, around the outside. And it's good. Like I said, it's a very ambitious call, and we'll see how well he can pull it up. This will be a test. This will be a test of his ability for sure. Hey, Elizabeth the Sand, thank you for the host.
Pegleg, I absolutely, personally do not have any passion.
Hey, thank you.
Someone else here does.
So, Alethios just donated some money to the Young House. Thank you very much. Cool.
Aletheos donated what?
Yeah, endless is right.
Aletheos, I have to say, is moderator of my Discord. I've been talking to him, pretty much all year about mapping. One of the first people I contacted on Discord. Once my beef with Arlene started, whose side did he take?
It has been interesting seeing who has taken what side. There's been some surprising, don't want to use the term betrayal, but some interesting allegiances being drawn.
It's funny how people's allegiance changes when they know they're in front of the boss.
I think you get rid of these two.
When they know Bridge McMahon is watching, suddenly they don't really hold true to their allegiance.
Yep, getting close to the 1 hour mark.
How you holding up over there, Pineapple?
Doing pretty well.
Not for long.
Seems quite confident. I am enjoying how Arlene's stage area is starting to shape up. It's quite magnificent looking.
This
Very
arch is
highly-
very nice. Yeah. And Pineapple's definitely is committing to this design. With the arches around the outside.
I know what I'm doing.
It's interesting you say that, Scuba, because I did cut my teeth on Deep Sea. Not quite as bad as the old arena is, but still pretty janky. And I actually reacquainted myself with Deep Sea via a speed map a couple months ago as part of a follower goal, and yeah, it's bad as I remember.
I would be quite interested to see a mapping event similar to this in Proteus, where we, not necessarily the people who have already been going apeshit over Proteus, but like take some of the better Doom mappers, give them like a day or two to familiarize themselves with what their tools enlist, and just see what they can come up with.
No, I've been keen to
Shades
get
of-
into
Go ahead.
Proteus mapping. I've been keen to get acquaint myself with the Proteus. It does look very fun to use.
It's definitely a magnificent tool for taking the people who potentially would not have gotten into mapping and just letting them go apeshit crazy. And then the people who are already fantastic mappers, like I was saying, Shades Master has already made some very impressive, really, really annoying levels.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, Remy's gonna make a
8
few.
hit
And,
scanners, what's that do?
it's quality editor.
All right, that looks good.
It was incredibly painful, Scuba, reusing Deep Sea. Still a lot of fun, but I was like, the difference between Deep Sea and even Doom Builder 1 is palatial.
Yeah, I think I will commit to. I know I said I hated streaming earlier, but if this shapes up to be really good, I will commit to streaming the winner's map on the In the Keep channel sometime.
Ooh.
I think streaming both, if you're gonna, regardless of who wins, I think, yeah, the spotlight on both of their excellent work, regardless of how it ends up.
We'll see. I'm just not quite confident that they can both really turn out a super good playable map at the end of this. We'll see, though. I mean, like, I'm interested. I
Arlene's
know
already-
Arlene. There's no question that she can make a map that looks good.
I was just going to say that the visuals are in her map are very much starting to stitch together. I was found a bit like disparate visual concepts for a while there, which is often the case for the map. But now with that particularly that floor texture choice, it's all coming together more cohesively now. Yeah, Steve, the 3D mode was one of probably the biggest game changer in terms of editors becoming much more user friendly, particularly for things like texture alignments. Like I had to do it manually, input the values in Deep Sea. It was a chore. And here's why a lot of my early maps have underlined textures everywhere. All right, we're just coming up to the 1 hour mark now, so we're halfway through. Competitors, everyone, huge efforts from everyone so far, and I think, confident that both parties will be able to complete their work here. Hey, DNP.
Pineapple's really put a dent into the surrounding arches, and it's starting to shape up very well.
Yes, well, he's done the smart thing here and done a copy paste to the other side of the arena. So obviously happy enough with his design there to flick it over that other side there and really commit to that window trope. Well, there's a little bit of cleanup here to do. Where.
Just to call it, we are now under 1 hour. We have about 58 minutes to go.
That's fine.
Hang on.
All right, let's get this bad boy finished up so we can get some gameplay going.
Good luck with that.
Oh, don't worry, I have a plan. Just hope you do.
No, I have one. I'm following through with it.
Liking the confidence from both of our contestants here. I think definitely with speed mapping, but mapping in general, confidence is really important. I think, very pleased to see everyone stepping up to the plate, swinging large for the hills.
Making this event really fun to watch has been far easier than finding the entryway to the Archvile cage in Technicolor anti-box collection.
Man with a gun, thank you very much for the bit. Yep, 1 hour left. We got this, boys and girls. We got this.
Confidence. So yeah, I'd agree there, Alethios, but being a confident mapper will make you a more skillful mapper faster. You'll just do more, and like being able to jump into ideas and experiments, will make you a better mapper. So I think the two are linked. Obviously, you get more confident as you get better, but it's important to feel good about what you're doing, regardless of whether it's your first map or your 50th map. Happy mappers are productive mappers. No, it does streamline ACS Pixel Scuba. It's got a script editor. You just hit F10, go and edit. It automatically compiles on saving. Yeah, you don't have to use an external compiler or anything like that. It's much easier now. Yeah, you don't have. Yeah, I remember having to separately compile in Deep Sea, and then having to manually add the behavior lump in. Exactly, empty cell. And DMP.
Got a lot of people in chat today, don't we?
Yeah, very busy stream.
It's been quite the event. I may have drunkenly done a little promotion the other night. Hit up the Reddit forums, hit up all the Discord I know of that are appreciators of Doom and mapping in general. There's a lot. This is a busy day just in general for just awesome events within our community. I think that Sudden Death TV is currently doing a large-scale Doom tournament event, so that would also be really cool to check out after the stream is wrapped up.
Yeah, for sure. So what event is that? Is it a deathmatch or?
I'll give you the exact details. I don't want to like traffic people from what we're doing here, but
No, just go like a DM and I'll yeah, because I can check it out. And if it's if I'm not
Why is my
then,
picture not showing up?
Some shilling in the help watch.
so this is the Nations Cup Grand Final. It started at 2000 UTC. That's my good friend Andy, aka. Actually, there's no AKA. He just goes by Andy. But Sudden Death TV has been doing a great job of covering, obviously, everything within the Quake community, all the way up and down for multiplayer. And this is the grand final of what has been a very interesting multinational event. And that's one of the best things I think about it, is that it's not. For so long, Quake has been very much confined to Northern Europe, specifically Scandinavia. And over the past couple of years, we've really seen it come alive in other areas, South America, North America, thanks to people like Nico and to Messiah, Nationwide Moose, all those people. So yeah, highly recommend if you're into anything to do with multiplayer Quake, check that out. Even if you're just like a total noob and you're into like Quake Champions or Diabolical, things like that, just give original, old school Quake World a try. It's well worth your time. Oh, very interesting moves coming out of Pineapple right now. He's actually broken off a piece of the map.
Well, he's trying to copy paste this arch design to the top section of the map now. So it's where precision matters.
Quite surprised that we have not seen anything akin to like the Colosseum being broken or like ruined over time. I expected very much to see that.
Good thinking.
No, I think there is something quite nice about a ruined design. I think it's always visually striking, but it also allows for a lot of gameplay concepts, and it's a good way to take like a real world space, something boring like say an office block, and then it's turned into a ruined one, and all of a sudden it's an interesting place to fight it. And you'll notice that Doom Eternal does that a lot, and their Hell on Earth maps, just fighting up and down a standard office building is pretty dull, but start breaking walls out and have things smashed through windows and set half of it on fire. Suddenly it's cool. It allows for those kind of abstract height changes that you need for good gameplay, but still makes it kind of still allows it to make visual sense in terms of the environmental storytelling.
Certainly something much more relatable to your typical gamer, a real world place that they can actually relate to, that they've seen. That's something that especially Doom 2 itself struggled with, was even though Doom was like the game where we can have all these interesting shapes and everything, we still end up with a very abstract looking environment.
And you'll notice a lot with the early Doom maps, and TNT suffers from this in my opinion. If the harder they try to be real world spaces, the more the map suffers. Doom 2's design was better when it was focused on actual abstract design, not trying to be part of a city or something like that, or a refinery. so the Plutonia does really well as a very abstract design, and there is a city map in Plutonia, the Odyssey of Monsters, but it's a very abstract city. It's a hell city. It's a much better level than say something like downtown suburbs.
Alethio's rating is very simple process. You just go to your stream's manager, or whatever that happens to be for your particular, streaming platform. In this case, Twitch, and Twitch favors raids by you just select the person you want to raid, either by looking them up or selecting them from your friends list or follower list, and then you just push the raid button, and then a few seconds later it raids it up, you send them over. So
yeah, we'll be taking this to some other Doomers once we're done, most likely. Probably allow Arlene to choose or Pineapple. No, thanks for everyone. This has already been a hugely successful. Thanks for everyone for coming and watching. It wouldn't be the same without you all here. And really appreciate you all coming out and watching this inaugural event. And already more than enough incentive to do this again and make this a bit of a series. I think you'll be keen for that, Motherlode.
I'd be more than happy, so long as it does not conflict with in the keeps work or my actual job. I'll be there.
Fantastic, and I think we might expand the commentary team for future events, and they'll definitely be open to other speed mappers, and the next one will be fully open to anyone in the community who wants to partake. And it's going to be I've got a good idea forming, and I'll pick your brain after this. But I think it's going to be a winning idea, and it will be something different, and it should be a lot of fun.
The issue is my general instinct for when something is themed about wrestling. I'm like, okay, so it has to be staged, but you've been very adamant about this being a genuine competition.
I think
that's a better choice, but.
Yeah, because the stage, and that is I think one of the good things about wrestling is the crafted storylines and characters. That is very much a deliberately done thing, and there's a lot of good work that's done in that element. But I think trying to keep this a genuine competition and allowing our competitors here to threat a little bit, and I think they're all enjoying this. A lot of focus here, very intense, very very focused, and great to see participants taking it seriously. And I am liking what Blue Pineapple's doing here. A little bit of detailing to draw attention to the key. Actually, good level design work here, like an objective sense. You want your important gameplay progression elements to be nice and noticeable. Good effort there. I think taking the time to do that little bit of sector work there to with the skin texture. Pretty classic tropes, but nicely done.
Dude, that is exactly what I want. That to a T. I actually proposed that. Verbatim. Like, it's almost like you read my mind.
It's funny you should say that, because there's a talk in the UDB Discord, and what we're pushing this, because we could actually do something like that. Collaborative mapping on the same map at the same time, a live
What's happening?
map that more than one person can work on. We've got a bit of a disaster here on Arlene. So I've just got some bad stickering going on here with a risky copy paste. It looks like things not quite lining up.
How the turns table.
No worries, I got this.
I'm sure a professional of Arlene's caliber and skill will be able to make a recovery. But interesting.
Arlene, I'm sure no matter how bad you fuck it up, your deeply dedicated fans will still support you.
That's usually the case.
I'm sure the mechanic will be very fun.
That's not Arlene's fault, but people like it. It's not bad.
I'd say it's your fault, Rich. Gonna point the blame anywhere.
I'm okay with being blamed for Arlene being liked.
Oh god, what is happening?
There's another editor, Alicios, that can do it as well. I can't remember what it's called. South Brow House? Brow? Something like that. And
Scuba is in the chat here. How you doing, brother?
what is what?
Scuba, get over here.
So it's very clear now to me, Pineapple, that the entire Caca Word Committee has shown up to obviously cheer on their lovely little baby, their prized jewel, and make sure that she has all the support she needs to defeat you, though.
Thank you very much,
I would
Eris.
call that unobjective.
Well,
I mean, hey, it's not my fault. They chose me 3 years ago. It's not like this is a new thing.
Yeah, no one said
maybe
it was new.
change our minds.
Oh.
Alright, this looks a bit janky, but...
I read that as UDB the first time, Scuba. Master's thesis on Ultimate Doom Ball, that'd be pretty cool.
Alright, this is gonna be janky as hell, but we're gonna do it.
I've heard that before.
See, Arlene's committed, like, still struggling a little bit here with this, applying the grandstand seating to the northern face of the structure. Things aren't quite lining up, but she's much like Pineapple with his archers. She's committing and pushing through the obstacles here. So both of our competitors showing good fortitude and will to deal with the issues that are fairly unique to speed mapping when you try and do something slightly ambitious and it starts not quite working out. Things start breaking. You've got to make a quick decision about whether you commit to it. Or try something new, because it's not like in a normal mapping situation where you can take your time to fix the issues. So yeah, I think credits to both of them to
committing to our bullshit.
We've just crossed the 45 minutes remaining mark. We're down to the last kind of third of the base build time. Our competitors here will want to start, really thinking and focusing on gameplay, I feel, and hopefully they've got a good grasp on what they want to do, because there will be points deducted for broken or unbeatable maps. I think that's fair. Respect is always given to speed mappers who can produce a finished map that is well refined in terms of the gameplay. So when it comes down to that final third criteria of how fun is the map from a purely Doom map perspective. So I will definitely be judging things negatively if if there are soft locks or unbeaten fights with the balance problem. So a little bit of extra pressure for our map, but
certainly a factor in not just in Doom mapping, but level design, game design in general. We see this play out many times with the Dread X collection projects, where we were kind of guaranteed, like, okay, it's going to be 7 games made in 7, spooky nights or whatever, and then at the end of it, it's like, okay, well, actually, we're going to need a few extra days to clean these bitches up and do a few updates, and which I'd much rather play a finished project.
Oh, definitely, and that is quite common with your game jams and anything. But even just look at Cyberpunk, it happens to AAA designers as well, releasing products that, in hindsight, were not finished. So
that is
always
often
interesting.
a point of entropy when it comes to the AAA games, where you've got such a complex product going on that it's nearly impossible to put a timeline on it.
Oh, definitely, and the depth of those games means that there's so many. It's almost impossible for their internal QA teams to pick up all the potential, kind of permutations of action that can lead to bugs. And that's one thing I really respect the indie game design community for. Games like Wrath and Bill and Proteus, and the products, they do go through very rigorous testing, and they have these long development cycles, and we might want them faster, but at the end of the day, the products are that much better because you can actually go, no, these have been well tested, and they've got long demo runs, and you can play a couple of the maps. And I played Wrath recently, and it was fucking flawless. I think I spotted a couple of texture glitches. That was about it.
they tend to quite correctly, in my opinion, lean on their community to help them with the QA process. You know, it's much easier to get that fast, passionate feedback too. It's not just feedback from some, you know, intern who's getting paid next to nothing. To just like, yeah, it's like a, hey, you know, these people really genuinely care about this product or willing to help. I heard a lot about that from Proteus.
And yeah, because Proteus had a very long alpha testing time, which I was a part of, and so was Arlene. And you know, the end product is so much better for it. And you know, credit to these devs for reaching out to their communities, taking a bit of a risk, you know, making it not quite public, but kind of public. You know, in a clearly don't want to use the term unfinished, but yeah, definitely not completed state. But saying, look, this is what we've got now. Give us your feedback so we can implement it and make it better for when it's actually released. And you know, we talked earlier about how there's this rise of like the passion mapper making games. You know, be it Graven or Wrath or Proteus, and I think you're seeing that kind of community testing is very much part of releasing a Quake map or a Doom map. You get like with Bastion and Chaos, I had a small but then growing group of testers that would thoroughly check things for me, make sure that I'd done my job properly, and was releasing a finished map. So by the time it was public, it was very well polished. But that was because of hundreds of cumulative hours of testing done by you know, people in my community. So you know, huge shout out to these people who are willing to jump in and test you know, 4-hour-long maps or even bigger. Like Jimmy's Faithless is 10 plus hours of content, and you know, did a very thorough QA session process on that. And you know, you see it in the Doom community a lot. It's definitely a good thing that these indie developers follow kind of a similar process.
Dusum makes an excellent point that they were probably reporting the bugs, but the dev team just simply didn't have the time to address them, and I think that's a huge issue. We've seen that numerous times with.
Agreed. Yeah.
Yeah, like we know there's an issue, but the corporate investment is just not willing to take the time to like really consider that as something important to do, and ultimately you end up with a launch like what The Witcher 3 had, what we're currently seeing with, you know, what was a good one? No Man's Sky. We're seeing that right out with Cyberpunk. It's gonna take maybe a year for them to really truly have a playable, like, bugless gaming experience. And even The Witcher 3 to this day still has huge performance issues in terms of leaning very heavily on the CPU side.
Let's have a look at it.
Just cross up 40-minute mark on the timer.
Put something on that.
Hashtag Team Pineapple going on in the chat.
Woo!
Hey, Sleepy.
Hey.
What about the Team Pineapples? I like these teleporters that blue pineapple. Fire blue pineapple.
No matter how this ends up playing out, that Pineapple could call this a win simply for, you know, getting his name featured with such incredibly
I'll take that
talented
scroll off,
folks like
absolutely.
Arlene and Bridgeburner, you know, to finally getting some of that recognition that I think he's been deserving for a long time.
Yeah, everything's great. Mapping.
Oh boy.
Oh shit! I need my countdown music.
I already took care of that.
Arlene's still struggling here with some inaccuracies in the initial structure. Seems to have
Sorry,
got a
easy
hand in a
fix.
technique.
I just hope that Arlene doesn't get too big for her britches. That's all.
I mean, she's very small.
Yeah, no question about that. Pineapple over here, 19 feet tall, from the top of this palm tree, looking down on the rest of us.
Dropping pineapples on people.
Okay,
Yeah, they have-
Actually, I don't even think pineapples grow on trees now. I'm pretty sure they are the plant themselves. It's coconuts that grow on palm trees, as well as dates. But hey, I never claimed to be a botanist.
Do a little bit of extra flair and then we'll get on gameplay because I know exactly what I'm doing.
Oh no.
It definitely looks
AntiCell's got another idea for it. I think you know where he's going for
Oh,
his next
gosh.
yeah.
All right, let's get
Very much
stupid.
looking forward to seeing Scuba Steve's dissertation on universal boom diddler. I think that's what he was calling it. Not quite sure where he was going with that, but I like the idea in theory.
Oh, no worries, Jimmy. No, pleasure testing Faithless. But yeah, no, back to Juice's point just about the dev teams being pressured because I have a huge amount of sympathy for the dev teams of these big AAA companies that get put under immense pressure. I think incorrectly. Hopefully the industry can reform to a degree.
I think the way
burnout is bad.
Take your money and put it to where you think is an ethical place to put it. So, if you have an issue genuinely with the way that the AAA gaming industry treats their employees, then probably don't give them your money.
I'd agree with that. Nice classic door.
Here.
I
will give you the. I'm sorry, Bridge. You finish, and then I'll respond to this.
Okay, I was just saying, Pineapple's going for a nice classic door marker design here with his red key door.
Excuse me, why?
You going to say that, Mother?
I would be more than happy to give the In the Keep logo to Doom Mappers to do as they want with it. That would make me nothing but happy. Free advertisement. It's also great. So we're changing the logo. The logo will be hopefully implemented anew within the new year, and I think you will all like it much better than the current one. And if you don't, well, kiss my ass. But
can we do both?
Uncle Hat is currently in the Keeps Discord working his ass off to get all of the assets changed over to the new logo. So I'm happy about that.
No, fuck crunch culture.
Yeah, agreed.
As someone I work in construction, and construction is deep-lined, it's just the nature of the industry. So I'm very familiar with jobs that go bad and you end up with under way too much pressure at the end of a project. It's very, very not fun. And construction can lead to people actually getting physically injured or killed because we do dangerous things. So yeah, I'm intimately familiar with that negative part of that. Yeah. No, good.
Imagine trying to forecast a tornado heading towards a small town that's remote. No one knows what the fuck's happening, and you have 5 minutes to get a warning out. Or a certain death.
Yeah. Oh, definitely, Jared. It can happen, but there are some industries that are more like just the nature of the work makes them more prone to it. And, when you get construction jobs where, as the main contractor, you can be charged money for a late project. So Wembley Stadium was that. They're called liquidated damages, and they are moderately common. I'd say maybe a third of the projects I've worked on have had them. But essentially means if you're late delivering beyond the states to the client will start charging you every day. And sometimes it can be a few $1,000s a week, which is not too bad, but sometimes it can be like 10 grand a day. Or Wembley Stadium, I think, was £500,000 a day or something insane.
So Blue Pineapple started to really turn his attention to the ramp and already putting some monsters along it. It's going to be really interesting to see how that gameplay works out, considering how crowded that area will end up being. It's going to be very, very, very Slaughter-esque. Luckily, we have the Martin Luther Slaughter here to add commentary on.
Well, it looks like we've got a pretty classic monster combo here that Blue Pineapple's going for, with the Cyberdemon leading the charge out the front and the Revenants out the back, and then a volley of pain elementals that will be masked, which was actually very similar to one of the fights that I made in Bastion of Chaos. So, I definitely approve the monster choice. Although the Wolfenstein token Wolfenstein monster there. So curious to see where he's going to go with this, because he's got a lot of real estate to play with. Plenty of room for demons.
Yeah, Arlene already kind of showing her own prowess here. A far more decorated looking situation going on. Very much already showing like just beautiful, obviously very beautiful work. But as we round ourselves down to the 30-minute mark, I'm interested to see how the actual combat plays out.
No, Arlene's potentially putting herself under a bit of pressure here to complete gameplay. Like you say, the arena is looking really good. Very classic kind of Arlene designs here with the inverted crosses and arch windows and whatnot. Very much like, but half an hour left. Not a whole lot of time. So hopefully she's got a good, clear idea of what she wants to do.
One of the most interesting things about this whole event is the fact that the competitors can hear the commentary happen in real time, and that's got to be not fun, honestly.
Oh no, y'all did fantastic.
Can you even imagine?
I wish people could commentate on my mapping like all the time, actually. Like
They
legit.
do. You stream it every day.
That's true. Like I think a credit to Pineapple for this balance dealing with the peanut gallery with the plum. He's not used to this. Arlene is a very much a regular streamer. She's used to having an audience, and she's used to having people talking to her about her mapping as she's making it. She's a regular in the Health Watch speed mapping sessions. But Pineapple, less experience with that element. He's done a lot of speed maps, but I think credit to Pineapple for rolling with this new experience for it.
What do you say? He's rolling with the punches.
Rolling with the pineapple punches?
Ooh, like that.
Pineapple punch actually sounds quite good.
That sounds quite nice.
A little 7-Up in there, maybe, or something that fills it up a bit. Maybe some champagne.
Oh yes, please.
No, to Pineapple's credit, like he's not, talking a whole lot. He's very much over here, just like indulging in her fanship and everyone like praising her and everything. While Pineapple's very comfortable to just focus on the work at hand and not worry too much about what people think until the end product is available.
He's very much in his own little world there, and that is a good way to deal with it, and blocking out all external distractions. That sounds pretty epic there, Jude. Smashing bugs and D keyboard as you're frantically trying to finish a project. Who are the committee?
All right,
Yeah,
almost
we are now
done.
below the 30-minute mark.
Alright.
No pressure.
I can feel the heat. I can feel the heat building up. Actually, that might be the system.
Yeah, what time is
So
it?
I'm-
Reach?
It is currently 10 a.m. Just got past 10. So
Summertime in New Zealand.
yeah, no, beautiful day here today over in sunny Auckland. It has been stinkingly hot.
So when I was setting up my global clock, I did not realize that there was a city in Europe called New Zealand. So I had
Oh, is there
to set
really?
it up. I was very confused. I'm like, no, this is not right. This time is not right.
Which why are you up at this time?
If I'm not mistaken, the entire country of New Zealand is on one time.
Yep, that is correct. Yep, we got it.
So I've now
GMT
set
plus
my search so that I can easily keep track of you and your doing.
Very good. Yeah.
All right.
Christchurch is in the South Island, beautiful city.
When you're a globe-trotting podcaster, you got to be very worried.
All right, let's just double check a couple technical things, and then we are going to get on the gameplay here.
Speaking of
wow.
Dream Podcast, I'm still very disappointed that Dewson has not come on the show. I've been trying to get him on the show for
Oh, dude,
going
come on.
He's always alluding to some big fancy project he wants to wait for, and I just don't quite know if that's ever going to happen. Over here smashing bugs on his keyboard to get things done, but can't be on the show.
Alright, she's looking good. She's looking
Yo.
real fucking good. Alright, let's go.
The sheep was a legend, sure. Sure, the sheep was the country's mascot for a while. There was a sheep that went rogue and wandered the mountains in the South Island for something 7 years, and was eventually found and had the most epic fleece. Just like meters long. It's incredible. And I think it was they did get shared, and it was the fleece was raised money for charity, I believe. It was pretty big news. About 10, 15 years ago. Yeah, fucking epic. The sheep was epic. It was fucking epic. and that's just such a Kiwi story.
Keep to do some rant going a little bit. I'm actually looking, hopefully, within the next a couple weeks or so, to be publishing the next Doom is Dead podcast,
Nice.
which is hosted by Human Bones and Dewsum himself. Always great interviews there too. It's
Nice.
very much a pleasure for me to always be the first person to hear them.
Blue Pineapple's here adding some more some abstract design shapes with his flesh wall, which I quite like the contrast to the the less regular arches. And yeah, a little bit of paint sector work going on there, so adding some environmental hazards in. I wonder, curious to see how much that's going to play into the actual gameplay.
With these large
yeah.
open arenas like this, the gameplay is an interesting factor in that how do you really progress other than to have an altering environment of some kind. It can't just be as simple as run around the room, collect all the keys, right? You gotta trigger things.
Correct. Yeah, trying to make it engaging in some way is tricky when you make these big open spaces. Things like pain sectors definitely a way to do it. Yeah, curious to see what Blue Pineapple has in mind here. Down to the 25 minutes remaining mark, so getting tight. Arlene's starting to feel a bit of pressure here. It's getting to the squeaky end of proceedings.
It's cold and lonely at the top of the mountain, isn't it, Arlene?
Oh no, not at all.
Interesting watching Pineapple's very calm, level-headed demeanor there. Gotta say I'm impressed. Let's see if this kind of frantic last section has any effect on either of our two contestants here.
And Pineapple does seem to have embraced the idea of having a bit of a broken, ruined area in the map. I think that's an excellent choice, very smart. It's time saver even.
Yes, yeah, definitely. It's you don't have to be as precise. You can just kind of like, well, I don't want to detail this wall, so we'll just smash it and cover it in flesh.
Right out of Bridgeburner's book.
It's just very quiet.
He's actually muted himself. I think that's a smart choice.
That was an accident.
That was an accident.
I would have deafened myself, honestly, if I were competing in this. I would not want to have any distractions whatsoever. When I'm playing deathmatch, it is very difficult for me to really focus on the sound cues and everything while I'm in the middle of the task. I can't. It's one of the reasons why I was saying I don't like to personally stream myself playing games, because it's unless it's a conversational thing with a single player game, it's hard to focus. I commend both of you for that, being able to do that.
Definitely agree that it does make it when I'm playing Doom, if I want to actually talk to chat, I often have to pause. If it's a difficult Doom map, I can't play it while talking. This is correct. You're too distracted, split focus, and you die. The good thing about that's one of the things, one of the reasons why I really like mapping on stream or streaming mapping is because it is an easy one for me to multitask with. Not looking at the map for 5 seconds isn't going to make the map kill me.
Lord Entropy is making a great point. Given Bridgeburner's reputation for, not wanting to do the extra work to make the details, so I'll just smash it and cover it in flesh. That's why they should not hire you for construction projects.
Touche.
Coming down to, we got about 3 minutes left to the 20-minute mark. It's going to be crunch time.
Yeah, speaking of crunch culture, this is it on display.
The Pineapple's already starting to show off a little bit of this 3D area here. Beautiful archways all the way around the map, except for those that have been pummeled. And it looks like some weird leaking flesh tentacle type area coming out into sort of walkway area. It's fun to see how that comes together.
Definitely.
It's fun to try to watch you line up these textures, try to make it look good. Arlene, meanwhile, doing a beautiful I suppose this is a barred area. Yes. Yeah. Okay.
Mhm.
So something hiding behind that.
Alright. I might go and grab myself a beverage.
Oh, 10 a.m. beverage. I might have to follow up on.
Fun part.
I do love the dynamic, though, of Bridgeburner being an expert mapper, a multi-CAC award-winning mapper, Arlene, an honorable mention, and Blue Pineapple obviously being the underdog here, whereas your commentator here, me, I have zero experience whatsoever in mapping. I only know what I like and what I enjoy seeing, so it's been very fun to kind of offer an outside perspective. I hope it's valuable to some of our viewers.
Yes.
We're down to the 21-minute mark. Do you guys prefer to have kind of continuous updates on the time, or would you rather hear them in like cardinal intervals, like 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 5?
Whatever you think is right.
Okay. Well,
Give me
we'll
a
see what.
every 5 minutes.
Okay, every 5 minutes then, and then I'll give you like a 3, 2, 1 as well. Yeah.
Cheers.
This is one of the few Bridgeburner streams that I've showed up completely sober to. So I'm enjoying that dynamic as well. Just chugging coffee and water over here.
Alright, she's looking good. She's looking real fucking good. Alright.
Are you gonna be fun?
Empty
Nice.
cell. Absolutely never. I would venture to say I will never become a mapper. I do not envy the position of what you do. I admire the artwork. I have my own craft, and I intend to stick to it.
Alright. 20 minutes remaining just enough to come up. Very much the sharp end of the stick now.
Ooh, yes, do some push-ups. Let's do that.
Nah, you're all good, Jimmy.
Jimmy, anyone has to apologize for being a little too gone on Bridgeburner stream. It is not you.
It's me.
No.
It's me and Bridgeburner.
Yeah. I feel like I've set. I feel like I've set the limit on that a couple of times. So no, you're all good, Jimmy.
Alright.
Right.
So Arlene in a very interesting predicament here. We're rounding out to the final, let's say, quarter, or less, eighth of the event here, at least for this section of it, and just now really starting to populate the map with beasts to behold.
Yes.
Pineapple well on his way in terms of commentary, or sorry, in terms of combat. Sorry, my brain's a little too one-sided today.
Yeah, Arlene's just starting to throwing down some teleporter spots. So obviously going to populate these kind of grandstand seating elements with some demons. And yeah, Pineapple is filling up his center with teleport spots as well. So
Yeah, I enjoy the fact that the wrestling ring, instead of being used for strictly combat, is actually going to be like a base area for supplies, similar to your hardcore match type thing, where it's like, yeah, we'll go back to the ring when we need a weapon from out
yeah, we need more chairs.
Well, what's that? A barbed wire coated table set on fire? Yeah, let's pull that out. See what happens.
It's great.
Why is all this? Because it's very necessary to have barbed wire and baseball bats and just tools of the trade stowed away under the ring. Little kerosenes, maybe some thumbtacks.
Very important. Lots of tinfoil tin cans.
Now, with this somewhat custom scripting we're seeing from Pineapple, the challenge will be, can he spell words correctly?
Yes, yeah, no, it's an easy one to mess up. A single typo will render the script non-functioning. So Arlene too is going in for some scripting as well. Good to see both of our mappers here know what they're doing. They've put the include ZCOM and ACS at the top, which is a common, particularly for new mappers getting into scripting, thing to forget. Essentially means that without that, nothing works. So,
No,
Wouldn't
Arlene
have been
is
surprised if pressure had made him never forget, but good to see that going in.
Arlene is coming along quite well now with populating some of these outside areas with monsters, and I'm assuming they will be ported in via this this beautiful center area with the many lopsided looking pentagrams, which I enjoy. That is not a in any way a negative comment. That is like super cool. It looks a little bit more handcrafted. Shout out to our pagan viewers out there. We enjoy the lovely pentagram.
Yeah, that was a good session yesterday, there, man. Arlene's flinging these teleport spots around.
Yeah, Eris, you would have gotten away with it too if it wasn't for those meddling kids and their dog. You were very successful at getting me drunk at QuakeCon. That was you basically ruined the State of Quake event by giving me what you did. So
Hands are freezing.
Obviously, you're not mapping hard enough.
Oh, it's
Ooh. The smack talk there. Arlene might be feeling getting a bit more confident now in her ability to get things done.
yeah, for the commentary here about may the gods accept your sacrifices with joy. If anyone out there is looking for a new religion, the Drowned God Cathala is always looking for new followers. Very easy to become a follower of the Drowned God. All you have to do is go into the arena on your computer and kill as many monsters and other people as you possibly can in a digital format. And she will accept sacrifices and guarantee your place in her kingdom of the murky depths underneath the ocean. So Pineapple's already there because he's the pineapple under the sea. He's been accepted by the Drowned God. Major Arlene, however, has a long way to go to gain the favor. You are listening to music.
Quake Champions Doom Edition.
Excellent.
It is blood cover. Good picking there, Eris.
Michael Markey's debut into the world. As
Very nice work.
I'm quite enjoying Markey's move to sound design, though. It is the interview. The time I was able to spend and pick his brain about it is a totally different set of skills that he's had to develop, and within the course of a couple of years, has gone from just a community music maker to. He's also a mapper, right? He's like, I've been hired to work on some things for networks. We can hear you, so obviously the internet's not out.
Hello?
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's there.
Fine. You're good, Pineapple.
Markey is a genuinely cool. Basically, anyone who's put their name on Proteus.
I know his screen has frozen. We have lost Pineapple.
Could this be a sabotage?
I've been too damn busy mapping.
Arlene's powers would be great if she could take out Pineapple's internet.
I'm not saying Arlene did it herself, but she has so many people in her corner in high places of power that it's hard to imagine that the temptation to call in a favor to guarantee a win. I'm just speaking totally objectively here. I can't really say that I totally believe she doesn't have other people in her corner trying to help out.
Oh, come on. Give me a little bit more credit than that. I would
not-
never cheat
I'm
that
not
way.
Not accusing you of anything. I'm just saying that, the facts are the facts. And you do have a lot of people in high places of power in the Doom community, obviously, with a vested interest in you looking good. Whereas Blue Pineapple, the underdog here, he's got no one backing him up. This is totally 100% him on his own merit.
Even my moderator is turning on me.
It's wanted to be. WO shirts.
Chain gun in here.
All right, coming up on the 12 minutes remaining mark. Now, for the viewers, a mapper should be aware of this, but there'll be a further 15 minutes added on to the end of this. Ostensibly, that time should be used to balance and test your map, but it's almost inevitably always used for detailing.
I would love to start a new faction in this community called the DWO, the Doom World Order, and we will rush out and make sure that justice is served. I'll paint my face like Sting and carry a baseball bat, fly in. Sting is just showed up on AEW in the past couple of weeks. I don't know if you saw that, Big Burn.
No, I had not.
It's quite cool. I don't think he's in any position to really be an effective wrestler at his age, but just to have his presence and his experience to give to these younger guys. A lot of people complain about AEW, like they don't have quite the star power to really promote their product, but I think with someone like him there to guide the younger wrestlers and show them a little bit about how the business works.
Yeah, some old hand, like, cause that kind of like selling the character is definitely something that you get better with experience. You know, having some ultimate professionals, people who've been there and done it and know the tricks of the trade from that regard. I think, like you say, it adds that big name, you know, prowess to it, but also, you know, someone who can hopefully mentor, you know, what is a pretty young roster for AEW. Just coming up on 10 minutes left.
No, Deucin, there's already a cult of the top Doom community, and we know exactly who they are. The Arlene joining the freaking Illuminati of Doom has definitely played in her favor, and I think that the time for the Doom World Order is coming upon us.
Continue to provide a haven for these people, the Household Federation.
Eris says, which Illuminati of Doom?
Yeah. You're gonna be sued for copyright infringement for using the name. Yeah, Mr. Cat has done vast majority of the sound design for Age of Health with his many talents. Alright, so we've got adding in a switch. Clearly wanting to add in some gameplay mechanics.
You're now under 10 minutes.
Yeah.
No pressure.
Oh, no,
You
not
doing
at all.
okay, Arlene?
Oh, yeah, fine.
Cool. You got any secrets?
Why would I put that in a wrestling ring?
You know, there's
Where do
little
they think-
funny
where do you-
things.
Where do you think
Like
where do they get the chance from? Secrets under the stage.
I wish we had taken that, but for the next event, we should take the time to get some custom weapons that are like wrestling.
Yeah, I think so. No, we'll
Berserk is a chair.
yes, yeah, that'd be great.
Oh, come on.
Boxing gloves from TF2. Actually, they're in Doom wear, the boxing gloves. You ask Boo.
We could even have like there's some really talented sprite makers that I could probably get a hold of to, you know, create actual wrestlers in as Doom Guy, so that like Doom Guy actually looks like Mick Foley or something like that would be really fun.
That'd be great. Actually, a wrestler's like deathmatch skin pack would be pretty fucking cool.
I would love that. I would really love that.
That
That's
would be awesome.
totally
I'm surprised that-
doable.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm surprised that doesn't exist actually.
It very well might, to be honest.
Yeah.
I know for a fact that like Macho Man has been made as a Doom sprite. There's a couple other good ones that we could probably grab a
Definitely
hold
worth
on.
researching though. Yeah, for sure.
My favorite Z Damon character to play as is Snake Plissken from Escape from New York.
Nice. There's a really good
apparently-
Arnie thing that's got
Yeah.
like a full battery of quotes. It's fucking hilarious. Probably my favorite one.
All right, it is truly crunch time now. We're rounding on down to about 7 minutes left.
Yeah, probably right there for me.
Arlene's starting to really shape up here, getting her
Ooh.
kitchen decorated. Pineapple. Looks like we just cleaning up some little details here on the walls.
Ooh, looks like Pineapple might be putting a secret BFG in. Arlene's throwing some resources
Make
around
friends.
for her fight.
Secrets don't make friends, but they do make excellent doom.
Oh, that's probably the one that I'm thinking of here, because it's never no reason always seem to have the only skill. And yeah, the quotes are fucking fantastic. Asshole! Got some teleporter closet spam from Arlene. I'm trying to avoid commenting on a couple of things that I'm seeing from a technical matters perspective. So
I know my closets look janky. Shut the hell up.
yeah, it's interesting. Like, yeah, these are both. And this isn't aimed at any one mapper, but I know these both of these people are, very much good at their craft, and usually very careful. But the pressure of speed mapping definitely, you have to cut corners sometimes and go for a bit more of a rip shit and bust kind of design aesthetic.
Quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty. Yep, it's
That's the way I like it.
ooh baby. Ready? Yeah, get 9 of you in the chat. Critique Arlene's teleporter closet.
All right, we are rounding down to the 5-minute mark.
So
Got
just a
15
reminder,
minutes of testing right after, right?
correct, there'll be a further 15 minutes which you can use for whatever purposes you desire. But recommend that they are used.
Short commentary break. Maybe let you guys both go utilize the latrine if you need to. Get a drink.
I don't
Arlene
got
looks like she
time
could
to
use a
pee.
glass of wine.
It's a good thing. Take a 2-minute break, or a couple of minutes in between. Me
Alright, where are
and
you
Mother
going?
will
Where are you
take
going,
over the screen
Bitcoin?
briefly. And
I ain't got
Yeah.
time to pee.
thank you for the follow, Red Rover 0896. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the first WRESTLEMAPIA, which is shaping up to be a recurring event based on the success of today. So we're getting close to the business end. Just wanted to say thank you to our competitors, Arlene and Pineapple. They've been immensely good sports, getting really involved over the last few weeks in terms of bigging us up. And I don't think we'd have the amount of people interested in this if it wasn't for their efforts. Thanks to the Motherload for getting in behind this from an early stage and throwing his enthusiasm behind the concept, because I don't think without that it probably would have fizzled as an idea that could be cool, but maybe we wouldn't have done. So thanks Motherload for bringing your boundless energy and love of all things wrestling to help push this along.
Yep, definitely thank you, Motherload. I know when I brought the idea up, I was gonna be like, I knew, because I'm like, you and Britt, Motherload and Bridge watching wrestling all the time, and it's like, nah, he's gonna get involved in this. I'm gonna make it happen. So.
Talking about me, I stepped away to go ahead and pee before the break so that you guys would have time to pee.
Oh. I was saying really nice things, I promise.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sure you were.
Alright. Let's
there
get
was actually,
stupid.
I bet you the one thing that DDX has a strength over UDB is their Lewis scripting, which is in the process of being supported by UDB. But Rubix has made plugins to make voodoo dolls, so that kind of thing can be done. Essentially macros. It's a nice design, I think. Name of the gun, the poison in the flesh. It's blood, so subverting expectations there visually.
We have now come to the 3-minute mark.
I imagine it is digestive fluid.
We've got a law there from Blue Pineapple. They can start early October. That's just a broad way of separating out. The first 15 you can't map for. It's only for planning, so you can gather your sky, get your music, and make sure that those are all successfully implemented. into the map. Hey, thanks for it. Don't give up, Blue. There's some cheers for Blue here from just one line. Yeah, the problem with that though, Joe, is like then they won't know why they're doing what they're doing. So sometimes it's better to learn by making mistakes. You can figure out right.
2 minutes.
I need to get this exit done. Shit.
2 minute warning.
Okay. Slight regret.
Alright. Save it. Alright, I'm done.
Pineapple coming in hot.
Pineapple wrapping it up a minute early.
So yeah, like I said, we'll have the we'll have a short break. I think for our mappers, and then we'll be the final 15 minutes to do last little tweaks and touches. Pineapple's already picked up a little error there with the script. She's corrected that. Yeah, flaming pineapple. He's doing a quick mechanics check here, which is a good thing to do. Just not worrying about necessarily the balance, but just checking everything happens that should.
We are now below 1 minute.
Alright, I'm running OBS, so I can't run GZ Doom right now. So that's gonna be an issue.
if you want to just drop the cam and go to a standard screen share Pineapple for the purposes of testing, you can use the right back. Yeah, yep.
Let me. I gotta swap over here.
Alright, my exit should work.
Ten seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Right. Alright, so this is not the end. This is the preamble. This is the penultimate for oh, that's me beeping. Shut up. Alright, so very nice work everyone, I think. We'll take a couple of minutes. I'll let the maps take a couple of minutes if they want. Yeah, what are your thoughts there, Motherload? The inaugural WRESTLEMAPIA.
So what I've signed so far is like first of all, both competitors have done an excellent job of getting it done in the time given. Obviously, Pineapple able to wrap it up a little bit more quickly, and I think that's going to play in his favor. Just to have already, kind of gotten his vision down. Arlene's going to have to do a bit of like cleanup, maybe. As we seen from Arlene, just in general, I think she has a tendency to maybe focus a little too much on the guitar solo and not enough on the actual structure of the song to make a musical metaphor. Like the rhythm section is very strong with Pineapple, focusing on the fundamentals, maybe because that's what he knows better. Arlene, I don't want to say got too big for her britches, but I'm just objectively going to sit back and see how this actually finishes up.
Yeah, I think you do raise some valid points there. Like Arlene committed to for longer to visual elements, and Pineapple got stuck into the gameplay pretty fast. But there's still these last 15 minutes, and experienced speed mapper like Arlene, I've got faith that she can bring it together on that home stretch. I've definitely seen that happen multiple times in the standard speed mapping that we do. Is it's that last 5 or 10 minutes. You'd be amazed at how much can be pulled together in a short space of time by someone who knows what they're doing. But I think Pineapple's confidence in actually hitting that finish mark prior to the end of the full 2 hours, very impressive. That must give them a lot of confidence.
Well, since we have them both here, let's go ahead and ask them their perspectives. Arlene, what do you think were the challenges that you faced, and how do you think you can circumvent those as we move forward?
Well, obviously, I've got a little bit of inaccuracy going on with my architecture, so it might end up with a little bit of jank, but other than that, I feel like this map is going to be pretty solid. It is a bit symmetrical, but I'm hoping that the gameplay will, be enough to make you want to stay in that arena for just a little longer.
question about that. Blue, how do you feel? Are you feeling confident right now, having finished the map a whole minute early?
Yeah, I think it's gonna turn out pretty well. I may have put too many revenants down, but no, I mean, part of the fun, you know. I will be interested in seeing how it plays. I'm confident a skilled player will be able to play it pretty well.
So, just a reminder for our mappers as we head into these last 15 minutes, this real crucial time. Maps that are deemed unbeatable or broken cost you points. It's not all about what it looks like, although that is a large part of the criteria. But important to ship, as we talked about, game development. Important to ship a working product, so we'll be definitely paying attention to that. So, I think we're all ready to go again. To everyone taking a breath, or
I need to pee.
all right, we'll let you do that, and we will commence shortly. We'll do another shout out to their respective charities again. So we've got supporting local homeless shelters for Blue Pineapple, and from Arlene, it's rehoming horses, local horses in the area. Both things that they're passionate about. So please donate if you feel that you can. So we are doing this for shits and giggles, and also there was a good cause behind it. So it was a good idea. I'm not sure who came up with that, but thanks to Arlene and Pineapple for throwing their weight behind that.
It's been a really interesting day.
I've been catching up on our donation screenshots. I just want to give some quick shout outs for at least my charity. Eris with $6.69 USD. Not Tyrone, $50 to both of our charities.
Wow.
And Eris did $4.20 and $2.99 US dollars, so we are looking pretty good. Thank you guys for your donations. I will say Guardsel also donated $10 to the Central Virginia Horse Rescue as well, so thank you to him. Thank you guys. This has been such a really wonderful event, honestly. And the fact that we can sort of support local charities, I think it's a great way to do it. So I hope we can continue to lean down that line, especially this time of year.
This has been immensely fun. I think hugely successful.
Got something
What I'm
cool
gonna
for
do-
showing too.
I'm just going to open that window over there because it's getting very low. I'll show it.
Pineapple, you're back. You feel nice and empty now?
Dude.
Man with a gun, thank you very much for the 1 bit. Very much appreciated, sir.
Got that lovely Kiwi summer bird sound in. All right, are we ready?
One
We
more
are
on
ready.
Alright.
Make sure to pull up my screen share.
Yep, no cheating.
Yep. All right, so we'll switch. You need to switch.
We need you to switch to the virtual cam because if he switches to watch your stream, then it will not.
No,
We'll see my
Pineapple
beautiful
can't, he
face.
can't,
We're not
use,
allowed to
he can't use obs anymore while he's testing his user because it's crashed. Yeah, so
Okay.
it's going to switch to.
Alright,
So turn your cam off.
let's have a.
Go to screen share, Pineapple.
Yeah, I got screen share on.
Wonderful. Okay, I will turn off my webcam in the sake of focusing on the mappers, although I'm sure you all want to see Bridge and mine's beautiful face.
Hang on a sec. Make sure get this working.
Arlene looking pretty confident, big smile, big old grin on her face.
I think I have every reason to be.
There we go. Hang on, I can do.
Cool.
There we go. Alright, so they ready? Cool.
Bridge,
Alright.
we've lost your
Timer.
we can't see anything. There we go.
Oh, you can see it just fine on my end.
Beautiful.
Everything
Yep,
looks
we're ready
shit.
to go. Getting set up. Get the timer up. 15 minutes starting from now.
Alright, let's test this bad boy.
So, just to reiterate, this is the final stretch. Expecting our mappers to come through and tie the bow, as it were, around this. One for me, but thanks for the
Oh
bit.
shit.
So right off the get-go, Arlene's map is obviously very beautifully decorated, and it starts out a little more open, a little less combat heavy. Whereas over on Pineapple's end of the things, you start off kind of surrounded immediately, you get right in there, right to business, and is now making a beautiful circle around the upper edge to try to get some of those revenants out of it. It's a pretty solid kind of tried and true game tactic.
Yeah, I think we are seeing, while on top down they look relatively similar in their kind of design, we are seeing different gameplay styles here. Pineapple is much more frenetic start, lots of early pressure, what's often termed a hot start in Doom. A style that has been well crafted by experts such as Ribbits and Skillsaw. A variety is good. I think I'm happy to see that. We've got two
Arlene
different
has
mods.
already opened the map editor back up, where kind of to see what issue she ran into and how she fixes it.
So we
Pineapple
see,
joining the fray.
Pineapple just passing down the Revenant count a little bit there. Obviously, there's a little bit too much early heat.
I think we need to add a little bit more.
As Arlene's increasing her monster count, so obviously feeling his space is a bit more empty, and needs to bring in some more friggins.
I think some revenants might be a fun
Totally,
addition.
Pineapple actually taking some time to move some of his monsters further away from the center at the start, maybe to create a little more opening for escaping that area.
Doing a little bit of a bug search here. I'm not sure what he's looking for specifically. Everything generally looks pretty fine in the editor, but sometimes you do find that what might look okay in editor ends up broken in GZ Doom, and vice versa. Actually, sometimes you do get some discrepancies in what is shown on screen between the back room and the final product. Arlene adding in some more scripts, adding in a lot of noise alerts, making sure that all her monsters wake up.
Pineapple's starting to readjust the weapons and ammo cache, and it starts off in the center of the map.
It's a big change there. It's just added in a megasphere to start off with. They're obviously feeling that the soul spheres weren't enough because they're lacking in armor. The megasphere is comes with a blue armor package with it, which is a 50% damage reduction from all damage taken. So it's a big change, and I think a good one, to be honest.
Immediately running into the hit scanners, the chain gunners standing up on top of that stage is like your first route to kind of get out of that initial fight. Immediately you're being fired upon. It's going to be quite difficult for someone with my low skill set.
I'm liking the rotating sky touch that Arlene's done on the city. I think that actually, I would not have thought to do that, and I wouldn't have thought that it would look good.
It was not on purpose, actually.
My question for that is so is the arena itself moving, or are the buildings surrounding it revolving?
I'm probably actually going to get rid of that because I personally don't like it, but
It's giving me roaches. Right, 10 minutes now.
So we're a third of the way through the final stanza. Inspired by Bastard House. Well, Blue Pineapple was attempting a UV run.
Damn.
Got past the rocket launcher, didn't you?
I did pass the one going through.
That is no mean thing.
Uh-oh. Definitely gonna have to add a backpack in here.
I'm liking what I'm seeing from both of our
It's fucking.
Welcome back, Scuba. We're very close to playing. Doing a run through of each of the maps, showcasing their honestly very nice work. It's a bit, normally the speed mapping sessions that we organise in the Hell Forge are very much large community affairs. Upwards of 20 to 25 people joining in at once. It's a very different vibe that these two have had to go through. There's a lot more focus obviously put on just them. Real credit to both of them for handling that scrutiny with, let's be honest, serious aplomb.
I'm really liking the home-based nature of Blue Pineapple's wrestling ring. He's able to go back and resupply fairly easily, obviously having to fight through a large amount of enemies to get there, but it's definitely a very interesting set piece and a good use of the theme.
It is a trope. Not, I wouldn't say common, but definitely one that it has been used well in maps in the past, and I think he's done a good job of making it relatively accessible. But also you have to think carefully about when you head down there and how you approach it from the various angles if you're running low on ammo, and it means you have to keep an eye on your resources. You don't want to run out of rockets or cells when you're surrounded by revenants.
Starting to question the actual height of the ring in the center of Pineapple's map. It may not serve as the most effective cover for that archvile, so maybe he'll have to either consider changing that or play the map in a different way that doesn't involve going straight in there.
I think with the pillars there, the ring posts, there's a very small but cover that you can use, and I believe it was only a singular archvile. So the other thing that you can do with archviles is as soon as they hit by an enemy monster, they will turn and attack them. So careful positioning of yourself to help draw fire at the archvile, I think will be a valuable tactic in this fight.
Just in this initial test run here, we've already seen a whole lot of action on the side of Pineapple, really actually playing through his map, getting a feel for it. Arlene has spent a lot more time adjusting small details. Crisp and clean, so we'll see how that plays into it.
Definitely. We're down to 7 minutes, so we're just over halfway through.
It's like Pineapple had a little bit of a texture flaw, or at least a lighting issue.
Yep.
You have to buy Pineapple for RAM.
It's probably just internet.
Well, the fact that you can't run GZ Doom with OBS on implies that you need some RAM. There's another little issue there with the switch being slightly off center inside that pillar.
It's not a big deal. It's a neat switch.
Alright. Hopefully final test, and we'll get this. I'm probably gonna get rid of that scrolling sky.
Curious to see how Arlene's squad of Arlene goes. Very much a rocket launcher focused start.
Closing in on the final 5 minutes here. Arlene looking pretty damn sharp. Very beautiful map setup. The sky is no longer giving the motion sickness.
Probably because I'm moving as fast as it is.
Yes,
No,
if you
it's
run in the same direction that the sky's forward, you're in good shape.
I'm liking Arlene's setup here. Pretty, yeah, pretty classic kind of arena setup. I like that name of that as well, yeah, like Pineapple Saving, so Scum Saving as you call it, Scum.
I'm still taking some last
I'm gonna find the Australians. Appreciate it.
Cyber Demon is not spawning in.
That could be a huge issue.
Oh no. Oh, there he is.
Okay.
Alright. Yeah, progress.
I just want to make sure this delay is long enough.
Here come the cyber demon, ready kind of beautifully crafted.
Right there, brother.
Yeah.
Pineapple is finished. So you have another 3.5 minutes probably to make anything to the floor.
Hey, sure, your attention to the space is unbelievable. That was good.
Alright. And it's exitable.
GG, so we've got 2 maps that are seemingly exitable, which is a good start. I've played 3 maps that are
We all noticed the name of Arlene's map. I don't think we brought a lot of attention to that.
Alright, I'm going to be confident with my map. Well, actually, let me just change the delay on this by a little bit more.
I haven't actually noticed it, but hello. What is your map called, Arlene?
Chopped
We'll let her do the
pineapple.
Oh.
What did you call yours? Yeah, on the ropes of denial. I like. No, it's both very creative names there. I like them. I like them.
One is
We're just going to get rid of that
perfectly on
sky
brand
scroll.
for Arlene. The other one sounds a little bit more like a traditional name for a map.
Professional, kinda.
Oh yeah, professional is a way to put it. You know, there's no issue with style. You know, having your own style, having your own way of doing things. It's just a matter of how the judges perceive it.
Alright, I'm going to be confident and call mine done. I will
Alright,
be
there's 2
submitting
minutes
it.
left.
Yep.
You guys can submit it in the usual channel, and then I'm going to play them.
Are we
Well,
submitting
comment-
it in the speed mapping channel?
Yeah, just drop it in there. I think that's fine.
Gotcha. Alright, and everybody
Or
can watch
one of
me.
you, can one of you send me the texture pack?
Yeah.
Arlene came. She's already done. So.
Yeah,
Let me
Bridge
upload
Burner
my
would
map
just not
first.
have Green War 2.
Sorry, what was that, Mother?
Said you would just not have Green War 2. You're way beyond that. Alright, so a minute left. Everyone's getting ready to go ahead and submit their final product. Looks like a little bit of extra cleanup here in the last 60 or so seconds from Blue Pineapple.
Pineapple's committing to just last little bit of detailing here.
About 50 seconds to go.
Arlene, yeah, punching it into the channel with the records of information. Professional as always. No, this
30
one isn't. And like I'm just submitting them speed maps into the usual Hellforge speed mapping channel.
Okay.
So if any of our viewers out there want to go ahead and grab them and give them a test run, you can probably wait.
Already taken care of, dude.
You can indeed. So you can texture pack, Arlene.
I'm getting there.
Right, cool. Maybe drop that in the speed mapping channel as well. And we are done.
Done.
Down.
Hands up.
Hands up. Very good. Excellent.
Let me
work,
upload the
everyone.
texture pack.
I think that was a well fought battle. Yeah, and it's gonna be tough to pick based on what I've seen.
Just want to commentate on some of the actual sportsman-like conduct we see out of here. Arlene throwing that stab in with the name of the map. It could be interpreted multiple ways. Pineapple, very tame, very focused, calculated throughout the course of the event.
Surprisingly so. There's a little bit of smack talk at the beginning, but then Pineapple got into his work and was very focused. And but on the ropes of denial, I think there is a subtle, not so subtle dig there. Couched more in a traditional Doom name, so credit for that. I think there's an equal amount of shade there being thrown by both of them.
Okay, I'm not gonna put this because this is giving me a headache. I'm not gonna put this in my.
Right.
Room
Yeah,
for stuff.
yeah.
Right. Very good.
Good point there, Warren.
Alright. Got chopped pineapple in my hot little hands, and then we'll grab. On the
Why are
ropes
there
of
all these
denial.
cat emotes on my freaking submission? Guys!
I wonder why.
Hey,
Look at that
Corzidin.
way.
I will say to the folks out there who are trying to find the maps where they're being posted in the Hellforge bridge, it may be prudent to go ahead and point them to the server if they're not already members, and then in your labyrinth of ridiculous names of channels.
So those of you who want to come and play the very first WrestleMapia maps, hot off the fucking press, join the Hellforge, and if you're not already there, and then they are in the speed mapping submissions channel. So the
And
channel
guys,
name
if you
is-
aren't in my chat, for those of you not in Bridget's chat or in my chat and haven't gotten to the Hellforge, there's a link for you guys. You can also join my Discord, and you can be up to date on the submissions for WrestleMapia. And yes. Let's see.
That's the channel name. Scroll down; it's about 2/3 of the way down. So yeah, love fantastic work. I think everyone, too much fun. Too much fun.
Absolutely.
That was immensely successful, and thanks everyone for for joining us. But we've got the last stage to do.
Red Rover 0896, thank you very much for the follow. Welcome to the stream.
All right, I have the requisite things. We'll be moving, I think, back to the traditional stream setup.
All right.
Hey, don't forget if you wanna wait.
Actually, no, I might have to still use the virtual cam. Oh, fuck it, you won't see my face. Oh. I wonder.
Wait, am I muted?
No, you're good.
alright.
No, I
Don't
can't. I
forget,
can't turn my cam back on Streamlabs because I'd have to restart it. So that's all right.
Hey, don't forget if you want to wager for one of these contestants, we have a couple donations you can
Yep.
send out to
Yeah, and you guys, do promote your
organizations.
Yep.
your organizations
My
and
the charity I've decided is the Dwellings, which is a home shelter organization in my home city. So they help out and giving free meals and shelters to people who may not be so fortunate as us. So yeah, go check that out. Donate if you like. Wager.
So yep, and mine is Central Virginia Horse Rescue, as I've explained before. Horses are very near and dear to my heart. I grew up with them, especially in this time. We've had horses getting displaced from their homes. So please help these fur babies out and donate to Central Virginia Horse Rescue. They can always use the donations, anything. So they are donatable via PayPal, so please do so if you can, and it'd be really appreciated.
Very good. So both very worthy causes. And I think I like
Horses for Horse. Is that what it's called?
Wow.
No, I like that they're different, aimed at different, both worthy causes. I think that go whichever one takes your fancy. There's something different there from each person. So there are the links in the chat. We guess Lethios will be playing both maps. I think we'll play them in the order submitted. That's like the only kind of objective way I think I can do it. And I will commentate as we go through, but I will definitely refrain from making any final calls until we've played both. And everyone else is also welcome to provide critique as we go through. And we'll see how this goes. Right, so we will be playing Chopped Pineapple. Major Arlene. Here we go.
Good luck.
Thanks. Not that I really need it.
No, I was talking to Bridge.
Alright, let's watch him play.
I'm gonna grab a snack while I watch.
No, it's the music. Alright, let's turn a... Liking the final countdown as the music choice.
Oh wait, did my frickin' sky scroll not turn off? Well, that's pretty good.
Nope, still scrolling. Did you
Welcome.
change it in map info?
Yes.
Alright, come the enemies. It's pretty classic kind of slaughter setup. Grab that. Got the blue armor.
Could have been more and could have been. I got in a little bit of a hurry. That's okay. I think the sky scrolling, as long as nothing else gets bugged, we're alright.
Yeah, one bug is
Liking
more
the
than zero
visuals.
bugs.
Shitloads of rockets.
Oh, you always complain I never put enough rockets. I did it for you.
Just for me.
Just for you. Totally not trying to brag.
So I do like the way this looks. I think it's a pretty classic, but not nice arena setup. Not a fan of this barrier being low. I think if that was going to be a block line, it should have been raised up. So we're gonna be, I wouldn't say harsh in our critique, but fairly honest. And yes, provide caveat that these are speed maps. But this looks like something that should be able to be jumped over, or almost miss it and can't tell what's blocking me. The Cacos, pinned Cacos are an interesting choice. I do feel like the side enemies could have been in greater numbers. In fact, all the just more in general, I think would have made it a little bit more tricky. And I do like it tricky, but not everyone likes it hard or rough. Okay. Michael's eyebrows suggestively. All right, so we've cleaned up that first section.
Really,
I do like this wall a lot with the arch and the goth text crosses and the silver lines in between. That's really good. Scary arena is scary. You grab that mega. It's also there.
as always, thoroughly impressed with the visuals, and I also will say that I like the fact that you can kind of clean up that first area and have a moment of peace before you hit the trigger to move into the next area. It's a nice touch.
Nice breathing space. Yep. MIDI is very fitting, I think.
Especially in the realm of slaughter mapping, coming from a place of like not being the best Doom player in the world, not the most experienced. I will say that pacing is something that needs to be considered more. Obviously, all of you are quite good at that, but just giving a player kind of that time to breathe, not only does it make it a little bit more doable for them, but also adds to the ambiance and lets them appreciate, you know, a map like this that looks so beautiful, gives them a moment to really take it in.
So don't think the Lost Souls can actually get me. Because these are blocked, these are impassable lines. It's, so that's a bit of a detriment.
Shit.
So that could have been fixed by making them a walkable mid-text.
Yep, I panicked.
We're going to
Admittedly.
approach this from a different perspective. We're going to speedrun this one.
Now that first key, very kind of just out there, easy to just kind of find and get to. I'm not sure if that was like a crunch choice or just a choice in general of like, I want that first key to be easily accessible. Because now what Bridge has done is, you know, circumvented that initial pacing that I've talked about and just gone straight into the arena with gunfire coming across.
What that does is allows some choice to the players. Like, do you want to push through quickly, or do you want to, spend the time to beat? Like, and I think that degree of player agency is a good thing. Giving the player choices is a good,
Of course I didn't. Fuck that.
Now, from my perspective, like, I definitely appreciate the art of speed mapping, or sorry, not speed speed running, and I appreciate that a lot of players would like to have that. For myself personally,
Thank you,
and
Aaron.
I realize I have the choice, then I would utilize the choice in my own favor. I prefer to spend some time in a map. You know, I prefer to like kill all the enemies before moving on to the next session. It's really a matter of taste, and obviously, you know, Arlene has her own unique style that really.
Be able to provide
well
for both
within
of
the
those
law.
options. I think it's not actually that easy to do a lot of the time.
Definitely, I mean, it's like expert level map crafting. It's one thing to make a map; it's another thing to make a map fun. And
Indeed.
a pretty looking map that's not fun to play is basically worthless.
Just ask the creator of Tab. Oh, well.
You know, it'd be fun.
What would be fun?
A crossover between WRESTLEMAPIA and Map Witch. The tag team
That-
battle.
Tag team
okay,
mapping,
that will be something to
or even a King of Trios tournament.
yeah, no, we can have some fun with this, I think. The next little
You know,
you
with
put a
the
backpack in this one, Arlene.
Huh?
I thought you said you put a backpack in here.
I did. You probably picked it up on the way in and just didn't see it.
Oh, no,
we-
just keep
we
running
should-
ourselves. I am out of cells.
Alright, well, you'll be forced to use rockets.
Right?
yes, Jimmy. What's your question?
Okay, this
How long
arena
is Pineapple going to take to play it?
Quicker than you will.
Damn, Pineapple is known for finishing quickly.
Hey, you know what they say about eating pineapple?
Bruh.
I'm a pina colada guy. I do like a good pina colada. Not even a big rum drinker, just like pina coladas.
Yeah, pina colada's good.
To answer your question, Jimmy, I don't stream, and I don't want to have gigabytes and gigabytes of video on my laptop of me playing Titanic, so I may stream it on the Hellforge. I think
Oh, so that's an
Arlene.
interesting.
I don't know what Arlene's plans are for streaming if she does lose, but we'll see.
So you're working with a laptop and therefore a single screen display, as opposed to Arlene, who's got a pretty prominent, nice computer and is able to kind of work with multiple screens set up, move across assets a little faster. That's something to keep in mind.
Yeah.
I mean, Arlene's over here with her beautiful background and her high-tech equipment. Meanwhile, you're over here working in what looks to be a dilapidated construction site, probably built by Bridge Burner. And
That's what we see. That's what
Okay, anyway, this little fucking stumbling block is my least favorite part about the map. But I do like the sprinting and hitting the switch early, getting into the middle. It's a fun map to speedrun this one.
yeah.
I think for me personally, really enjoyed that. Yeah, I was a little bit concerned about the amount of space here, but good use of the Revenants in terms of creating enough hazard that you can't run in a pure circle. Resources feel pretty well balanced from a health perspective. Remains to be seen if there's enough ammo to beat the map, like to kill all the monsters off. I'm going down to 9 rockets.
Now,
Well, you do have shotgun shells and you have chain gun ammo, so definitely use that in your favor as well.
Do you know how many barons there are in the middle?
A few.
now
There should be plenty of rockets in the middle of the arena. Did you get all of them?
I think so. But we'll see. We'll see.
given the proper
Sorry?
respect in terms of the fact that this isn't entirely a speed map and therefore thrown together very quickly, the caged cacos, unfortunately, like the way that it comes across to the player is that like these look like they should be able to attack me, but as they fly up above the ropes and they can't move from there, it does kind of ruin the immersion for me just a little bit.
And that's fair.
Yeah.
I think the cacos, as the pain elementals not being able to get over this rope was the bigger.
Yeah.
The Lost Souls that actually completely muted them as like from a gameplay perspective. That was the well, I'll get back in.
Now, in respect to the wrestling theme of this, I have taken
also,
a page out of-
you can
Oh,
do
we
this.
found a soft block. Shit. Well, you can just exit the map that way. It's not really a soft block if you can exit the map.
This is the exit, isn't it? The fire blue?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Barons.
To expand on what you were saying earlier, Motherload, I am on my laptop and I have a
One will be a
monitor
shot.
connected to it right now, and it noticeably mapping this time I noticed a lot of slowdown compared to what I'm used to. Just like
certainly,
a
I mean,
Yeah, I do
like
not
I
have
said,
the
you
ammo
need
for
a
this.
lot of RAM and a lot of CPU power when you're, creating these maps and you have a tremendous amount of enemies running around. You're trying to stream to Discord. There's a lot going on. You're probably also processing video in terms of watching our screens and everything.
Yeah.
So, and you can't even see it all. It's not even all being displayed at one time because again, you have a single screen display. So.
No, I have a monitor connected.
Okay.
So we have a map that is definitely beatable, but potentially
Yeah,
Not-
yeah.
not maxable, I'd say.
Oh, you completely messed up Max Bear in the middle.
Not a broken map, just a slightly unbalanced map in terms of resource distribution relative to this massive Barons. Actually,
What we've got here is failure to communicate.
I can get back in there.
Picado, thank you very much for the follow.
Maybe this can be.
Hey!
Uh-oh, we found an entryway. Was that an on-purpose entryway?
It wasn't, but that works.
I don't think so.
It works. It works. It works.
Happy little mistakes.
Happy little
just like
mistake
me.
indeed. Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you forget to pull out and it turns out to be the best decision you ever made.
Doesn't matter why it works, it just matters that it does. Look, just enough rockets to clean up the Barons.
Bridge, I do admire your patience with trying to figure something out instead of just declaring it and walking away.
Like it's, I think it comes from the play testing mentality that I've developed over the last year or so. It's different to just playing for fun, although that is part of it. like about exploring the various options in the map and like, is this broken or is there another way to beat this? And yeah. All right, we have killed all 444 enemies. A mild texture glitch there.
Oh, where at? Oh, shit.
I don't know what's happened there. You hit that between the bars.
Yeah, it's yeah, something. I forgot
Well,
to pick that up, but
All right.
It's an Easter egg.
That is true. You probably could pacifist. You probably could actually pacifist that one.
could do, yeah.
But that's actually not impossible, that one, because all the triggers, you pick up the rocket launcher, you get the red key, open that. You just have to survive that inner arena until the bar's lower. There's a timer. So
Hey, Bridge, you got all the secrets. Congratulations.
all the secrets here. Okay, so I think Arlene's safe, very good work there. Definitely leaned on a more abstract design in terms of the layout. Would I call that recognizably a wrestling arena? Probably not. Without wasn't knowing. An arena, kind of gladiatorial set piece, yes. But specifically a wrestling arena, I probably not. But I think so. Points probably lost there, but gained in good abstract design and very very rich and stunning. And fun to play, and I definitely enjoyed that speed running element. Be able to charge through right to that final fight as quickly as you can, literally within 10 seconds. Is a fun option for someone like me, and then like you said, Motherload, for people who want to take it at a bit of a slower pace, they can do it in chunks and make it a little bit easier and take their time to admire things. So good work. Right. So not a.
Maybe move the Spotify block. Some people are a little concerned with it taking up screen space.
Oh, sorry. I'll go on. Sorry, guys.
Be gone. I will rule you.
Hey, thank you for the follow of Pickerton Mazanis. Welcome to the stream. Hopefully I got your name right. I probably butchered it.
The Miz.
All right, so we've got Blue Pineapple's submission on the Ropes of Denial, a name that I do like very much.
Ironic that there are no ropes in the Ropes of Denial.
It is ironic. So we've got a single zombie man causing me. So I wonder if Pineapple intended for the hot start to be avoidable, and I don't think that's going to make it too much easier, but it does remove that initial volley to a degree from threats.
Yeah, as you try to run around this top area here.
I feel like he didn't use enough green war textures.
That's actually so the floor is that is actually a relative point. Arlene did do a good job of utilizing I'd say probably 80 or 90% of the texture pack, whereas Pineapple has very much leaned on his known style, which is all about the G-stone and the metal trim. If you look at this better status map.
Now, I don't know what this map looks like to you guys in particular, but the green and red for a red-green colorblind person, this looks very muddled, especially as you start to move a little faster. Like, I really can't discern a lot of things.
Why? Because I think your color blindness is slightly more severe than mine. I'm not having too much trouble. We got the edge file out.
Arlene's use of a broader color palette definitely benefits me as a player.
I think it's fair to say that Arlene's map is probably like the better looking one.
Yeah.
But that's like you said multiple times, that's what she's known for. I like Pineapple's gameplay here. It's very encouraging. Like, even though I haven't died yet, I've always felt like I'm on the edge of dying. It's not a map where you can stand still at all. Right from the hot start at the beginning, there's no respite. Lots of Revenant rockets flying around. I think someone who's not used to dodging them is going to find this one pretty challenging. But he has been generous with health. Yes, it's all coalesced in the middle, but the 4 soul spheres, which we haven't used all of, allows for mistakes to be made. I think that's good for a speed map. You don't want it to be like ultra punishing, having to reload and save scum all the time. And it's also fair to say that at this point in time, I'm relatively good at this style of gameplay. It's definitely kind of map that I very much enjoy playing and like making. So no, I'm really enjoying this. You get away from me.
To give credit where credit's due, I believe Arlene should be awarded at least a little bit of credit on the fact that she attempted to make multiple areas that were triggerable, whereas in this case you're kind of just like wide open, here's all the monsters and get after it.
Yeah, although I'm pretty sure that there is a second stage to this fight, so they're similar. I think they are similarly 2-stage setups, but we've got one more key to get. Pineapple, as we pointed out when we was making it, to put a secret in the map, which is cool. I remember what it was.
I mean, you pull up that mini map there, there's like the actual structure of this map is very pretty. Like it's just, you can really see the planning and detail that went into it.
I think one thing that Pineapple would do better on with a little bit more time, I think, would be just changing the lighting up.
And that may be part of lack of vision as well.
Yes, I think so. I think it's a nicely lit in the middle. The outside, like having some dynamic lights, say, coming out of these windows would help light up this outer area. But I think that's just something that Pineapple is not as practiced with, and that's perfectly fine. It's a trying to
have that texture glitch on the outside wall. I'm not sure.
Yeah, sorry, just a very small missing texture there. Nothing too major.
Hey, LMAO. Okay. Exactly, Warren. That's what you're supposed to do.
What was on that side with the sexy legs? I'm really putting the switch in behind it.
There's more than one. Potentially.
Nothing over there.
Trying my best not to give you a hand. You're not wrong, but
You're
the
wrong.
manner of which you're not right. I wouldn't look over there first. What I was looking.
I think I'm even out here. Pog? Hey, King String. Oh, the Kiwi, actually. I suppose that's Aussie adjacent. There it is. Oh, welcome. Pog! Alright. I'm not going to save because we've beat Arlene saveless.
And here we go, second stage. With the tightness of that room, it's obviously the Cacker Demon, the Cyber Demon is going to be doing a lot of work for you here.
Yes, and like from a kind of like a critical perspective, he does choke up that opening a lot and neuter the Revenants to a degree. Look at those bouncing Bane elementals, that's great.
Oh my goodness. That's great.
You all need to die.
So much doot. Yeah, it's a moderate amount of doot, I would say.
Some do. Okay, you know, really need to die. Oh, Cyber Demon's out.
Congratulations to bridge on seemingly actually knowing how the FG works. Really irritating to watch. It's more common for multiplayer, players to actually use it in the correct, quote unquote correct way. But
yeah, it's a something. If you want to get good at slaughter mapping, playing slaughter maps, not slaughter mapping, it is definitely a skill you need to learn. And it was something that I was not good at for a while.
yeah.
And I remember watching people like Nevernos and Nirvana and Mr. Zor, like, how do they kill so many enemies with the BFG each hit? And yeah, just efficient use of those cells is very critical.
It's nothing to do with where the actual blast lands. It is what is in your line of sight when the blast actually makes contact.
And the direction those traces go out in is the angle at which you fire it. So you can fire it and turn around and the traces will come out your ass. Very good. We missed an enemy. Okay, so I think Pineapple's definitely
Points for
I think
confidence
Pineapple
there, I
definitely
guess.
hit that closer to looking like a wrestling arena. Like you had the clear square in the middle with the posts and then the ramp, where your athletes come down from. Still had a good amount of abstraction in there with the flesh though. So it actually probably blended the two design elements better. And the gameplay was really good. Probably not overall visual presentation. Not quite as good with Arlene, but I think we're well aware of where her strengths lie in that. But that was a thoroughly enjoyable match. Pineapple the heel, exactly. So, Mother, have you got anything you want to add?
No, I think we should go ahead and move on to our final judgments.
All right. So, look, I almost don't want to pick a winner. Like it is very, very two very good speed maps. To be honest, really good speed maps. Let me bring up our protagonists again. And do you want to turn your camera on, by the way?
Of course. I think Chad is making their opinion quite clear at the moment.
Hey, Steve 88. Good to see you.
Hey, Steve.
You could see me lounged out in the chair there as I was watching with my feet kicked up on the desk.
Jealous that I wasn't. I think, there's very little separating the two. I like they work with different directions. On the surface, seemingly similar arenas, but they did play very differently. Arlene had this big kind of sprawling opening with monsters all over the place filtering in, and then a very directed central fight. Whereas Pineapple had a really chaotic hot start. Unfortunately, this would not have been possible to watch you make it, but someone who hadn't seen the map before, I'd be really curious to see how they'd play that Pineapple. I think they'd actually really struggle, like where to go, how is it going to work, and in a good way. Like it'd be a challenge to map out the map. Whereas because I watched you make it, I had a pretty clear idea of the routes, each keys, you knew what was going to happen by before, and the secret. Although I think without the without the secrets, there was still a decent amount of ammo. I don't think it would have been an issue, but I would have made that last fight a little bit trickier. Which is probably more about like if the cyber demon did make it easier, but if you don't have the BFG, I think it's probably a fair balance to have that cyber demon there to kind of be a bit of a damage magnet. So that was really good. Quite similar but contrasting gameplay there. Visually, both of you attempted pretty ambitious things, which I always like to see in speed maps. I'm a fan of ambition, even if it doesn't quite come off. I watch both of you struggle a bit with your precision and repeating those design elements. You want to scatter around the outside. You had your archers there. Pineapple Arlene had her little insets, it was both a thing that you guys had to decide to commit to after realizing shit, this isn't quite working out exactly how I wanted it in terms of being able to repeat these designs around. That's the kind of thing that you learn and get better at. Tips and techniques to manage that kind of stuff. But credit to both of you, like realize the issue, they kept going with it and didn't hesitate. Like, we're pushing through with this, because if you'd hesitated, you wouldn't have finished the map. You either had to commit or do something else, and you both committed. And apart from a couple of little things here, you can't pick up those imperfections that you can only notice in the end. So it worked out well in the end. Points to Arlene for her lighting. I think, like you said, it was very clear and direct. Made the map really easy to read, more so than Pineapples. And really nice texture usage, I think, Arlene, with the grey around the edges and the dark floor. It contrasted really nicely with the sky, which had the little lights in the windows. Yeah, really nice colour combos there. I think the better of the two in terms of colour theory on that regard. But yeah, it's a tough call to make. They both got strengths. They both got a few flaws here or there that I could nitpick. But I think I've got someone's just going to edge it. But I'm curious to see what Lovelock's thoughts are first, just broadly.
Yeah, so we entered into this with a very kind of pro wrestling idea of how we're going to handle this. Like I'm going to be the heel commentator, and Bridge is going to be the objective truth guy. And I've got to give you both credit. Like obviously, I'm maybe not the most qualified person to make a real judgment on what is and what is not good mapping. But I feel very confident in my ability to talk about gameplay and what is enjoyable. Arlene obviously played to your strengths. Your mapping is always gorgeous, beautiful, well-detailed, well-lit, everything. They're all super efficient. But with that said, the Bridge Burner school of like what makes these maps really special, what you made special with Technicolor Anti-Box Christ, and what Bridge has done with all of his projects, it takes time to really like get that level of detail. And I think that you potentially spend a little bit too long working on that stuff and a little bit less time than you maybe should have, focusing on what the gameplay would actually be like. With that said, looking at Pineapple's map, not quite as flashy, but some of the best maps that I've ever played in terms of having fun are not exactly the most beautiful things in the world, but in terms of like actually playing it, having fun, a more, I'd say you're freer to move around in this environment he's created. You're freer to kind of play it in a few different ways. And also, like the gigantic major issue standing out with Arlene's map for me was just the fact that like you thought we were in a soft lock situation and we were only saved by actually another mistake. So happy little accidents are good, but in terms of just my actual judgment, I do think that I got to give it to Pineapple on the basis of like I would have more fun probably playing this map as it stands right now. But then I also would say, given Arlene, if Arlene had another 3 or 4 days to like really clean this bad boy up and detail it the way she wants to and adjust those gameplay elements, I'm not quite sure that Pineapple over that same amount of time would be able to turn out a truly fantastic 5 out of 5 star product. So for this event, I'm going with Pineapple, but I do offer props to both of you for your excellent work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think, the gameplay for Pineapple is slightly more engaging, but I think for me, the cleaner presentation overall from Arlene is what's going to edge her in front. Just like this is not this was actually a pretty hard decision to make. It is very tight. Both made really good maps, but I think there's just a better cohesion in Arlene's. I think that shows that. I think that's part of. Like she's been mapping for longer, she's more experienced, she's done all these big maps. She knew what she wanted to do visually very early on, and had a really clear kind of overriding kind of aesthetic that she wanted to like. Yes, it's one that she's done before, which that's what I do as well. When I make my speed maps, I do what I know, and Pineapple did that as well. But I think Arlene's end product just had that little bit better, just like holistic design. But yeah, it was a tough one.
It really comes down to, for me, it's like, look, you could sell me a great looking cereal box, but if I don't get that crunch when I bite into it, it's a little soggy. That's all I'm saying. It's a little soggy.
So I'm just looking at I've got like 2 cereal boxes that I haven't touched for about a year on my shelf. So yeah, I just look at them.
Don't eat it now.
Or maybe you're just afraid of the contents inside of it. Maybe that's what it is.
Who knows?
I think
what's going
maybe they're a
inside
little stale.
there.
A little stale. I think this super flashy, over-the-top, beautiful map making with a lesser focus on the actual gameplay may be a little stale, and it may be time for a new flavor.
Might be.
And I think that flavor might be Pineapple.
All right, so it seems that we have perhaps a tie, which I think is pretty fitting, to be honest. Like, wrestling jokes aside, yeah, both excellent maps.
The crowd is calling for a third judge.
They are. So So this was semi-planned for. So we're not going to make a call right now. We're not going to do the tiebreaker because this is just the lead up. This is going to go. This is just the beginning of the story. So like any great wrestling, narrative, there is more to come. So we will be building on this. There will be an event coming in January with more players, more participants, more characters. Yeah, we're building up to this. So early Jan, we'll be planning it a bit better. We'll be getting a bit more ambitious, but get ready for the Royal Mapping Rumble. Follow on from WrestleMapia. Yeah, anyone will be able to partake. That's the exciting thing. We'll be opening up this up to the community. So get ready, you speed mappers. We will be setting up some interesting competitive teams, still competitive mapping. I've got to figure out. I've got a couple ideas of how to set this up, and I'll be chatting to Mother the best way to manage this. The idea is to keep going with the competition stuff. You guys, everyone still can get into character. We can build up rivalries, do this properly. But this is not over. Not over.
Pineapple, unfortunately, I think the establishment is going to be a little bit harder to chisel down than we thought. So the blue,
yeah, very much so. It's all these corrupt.
I'm not sure if you're familiar with this, but back in the old days of ECW, there was actually a faction called Blue World Order, led by the Blue Meanie. And I think we should resurrect it now with the Doom World Order.
Yeah.
All right, well, and I've already been dubbed the Doominati, so we're gonna roll with it.
Okay.
Well, yeah, we're gonna take down the Doominati motherload.
And then, I'll be the objective, overlord. I'm running the Hellforge Federation. Yeah. Rich McMahon. We're gonna organize the next event.
The Doom World.
The Tectonati. Yes.
What's the time? Very good.
So,
That was a hell of a lot of
I'm
fun.
looking forward to how this plays out, but I think that with some proper planning, we can take down the establishment.
Yeah, wonderful.
Change the
burn it to
As long as
ashes.
I get my cup.
The Doominati moves in mysterious ways, you guys. You never know.
Replace the Illuminati eye with the eye texture that's so prominent in Sigil.
Yeah.
Evil eye.
Empty cell.
Empty cell, get on it.
Put the Baphomet evil eye, and that the Illuminati triangle. The Illuminati triangle. That would be great.
I'm gonna get some Doom World Order T-shirts made before.
That'll be wonderful.
We should start getting some merch made for sure.
So, what you're implying here is that the next event is gonna have a rematch between Arlene and I?
I think so. We'll change it up. We'll mix the rules, and there'll be I've got a good idea cooking for the overall theme of the main event, the Royal Rumble.
Cool.
And we might do some brackets for some sections. Yeah, it'll be a full day event next time. It's going to be much bigger.
Wonderful.
Yeah, good. But thinking about this for a while,
With toilet breaks, lunch.
since we came up with WrestleMapia, I was like, we should build on this. And I think we're going to have a lot of fun while people are on holiday. Yeah, kick off the new year with something exciting.
Wonderful.
Great. Looking forward to it.
Excellent,
Pineapple has
excellent.
been great. I'm looking forward to a rematch with you, but
Yeah,
So I think,
it's been an honor.
seeing as you both lost, you both have to play Terror Game.
Shit, you're right.
No!
Nobody won.
Shit!
That's the point.
Oh no!
In regards to our earlier kind of general talk about how these two have their own individual talents, and we did mention potentially combining something with the Map Witch idea. Honestly, I have to say that I think that if Arlene were able to get off her high horse a little bit and stop trying to be the #1 big bad champion in the world and everything, perhaps you could see, you know, a Mega Powers type situation here where we have, you know, someone who's really good at gameplay and someone who's really good at visuals team up and make something really special.
Yeah, brother. Come
So
in
just to make it clear, the next event will not be the map which one. That will be a
Right.
separate one. So yeah, but we will build to that. I think that'll be the might be the follow on in this theme. So yeah, WRESTLEMAPIA. As just concluded the first one. I think we'll make this a regular event. And yeah, the Royal Mapping Rumble will be coming probably looking about 2 to 3 weeks from now. It's enough time to plan something out. Yeah, I'll get your mother loading and start bouncing some ideas. And yeah, see if we can cook up some merch and that kind of shit. That'll be great. I think we could really make this a big thing. So thanks everyone for what this is like. By far and away my biggest stream. Yeah, just the fact that there's so many people watching. We've grown to a really good thing here. So wonderful.
Yep.
Epic.
Len, we both lost. We got to play Terrakin 3, both of us. So
Right. Yeah. We could do it co-op.
I think
no, we can't do a co-op. It's GZ Doom.
What
next
actually?
time
What I
we
am thinking-
bring in King Don as a
Yeah, fuck yeah.
judge.
Actually, that's a good one.
Oh,
Don,
yes.
you are, yeah. Actually, Don's pretty objective, pretty cold in front of it. And outrageous.
Not a member of the Doominati.
No. That's not a bad shout. Well, let's jump Don. Don versus Sweet Pea. No, but what I'm thinking with the Terracan is like we'll do a screen share again. Both of you. I think it'd be quite fun.
Do we get to choose our? Please tell me we get to choose our difficulty. I don't want to play it on UV.
Oh no, that's fine. Yeah, the Terracan.
Okay.
The Terracan is the means of what you play it for. The difficulty is bullshit on multiplayer. So,
Yeah.
but we'll get IG's input about what's a good map or two to play. So we'll organise that for later in the week. The penalties for our losers.
Wonderful.
Everyone
Great.
loses when they play Terracan.
Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Hey, don't forget to donate too to the wager.
Yes, please.
Yeah,
I'm
one more shout
gonna.
out for the charities. Post the links in the chat there. And shout out to both at Major Arlene and the Keep. And their respective channels. So my one's in the Keep. And yeah, go give them a follow if you don't already. And I'll shout out Pineapple's Twitch for the stream. Give anything you want to give any pluggables you want to plug?
I guess either my YouTube channel or my Discord server. We do monthly speed mapping events where we'll have a crazy gimmick. You have like 8 or so hours within the month to submit them out, and a bunch of other community projects. We've got a fun one coming up in January called Hot Potato, where you work on a map, send it to somebody else, they work on it, they send it to somebody else. Fun. Coming up, so keep an eye out for that.
Pineapple's really, definitely pioneering like gimmicky speed mapping in a good way. Like lots of fun stuff happening there for sure. I believe there's a link to his server in the Hellforge portals to other realms. So definitely go jump in there if that's the kind of thing that interests you. There's lots of cool shit. Lots of really, that's actually a really strong community-driven server. And a very, like, getting people doing stuff way that we don't see very often, to be honest. It's pretty impressive. Arlene, you got any other pluggables you want to plug?
I do have a Discord, which I am posting up in my chat. I do have a YouTube. I don't post to it. It's mostly just stream highlights, but yeah, I can be caught here. Also on my Twitter page, I do a lot of updating on mapping, so if you guys aren't following me on Twitter, you should do so, and I'm at Major Arlene.
Motherload, you got anything you want to plug?
Yeah, head over to inthekeep.com. You can find all of my shit there. Really great podcasts, at least in my point of view, because I make them. Also, Doom is Dead podcast, if you're interested in hearing from the old school Doom community, the Doom mapping community, everything. I think, Bridge, you'd be an excellent guest. Actually, all three of you would be excellent guests. That's with Dewsome and Human Bones, which I produce. Also, just, go back through that catalog. I guarantee you that if you found yourself here and you found something that you love here in Hellforge, that you will find something for yourself in the Keep. So,
Definitely.
yeah, that's it, inthekeep.com. Just check that out.
Yeah, so inthekeep.com, it's not just your game devs that you find there. Jimmy's been interviewed. Dragonflies.
Dragonfly's been on the show.
Yeah.
Yep.
And more for
Lots of old school like genuine old school Doomers get interviewed on there as well. You got people who are just really passionate about this game that we love so much. And and I'm of course Bridgerunner. You obviously know where I am because you're here. I believe just about everyone in the chat's actually in the Hellforge, but we'll give a little plug to that. The place where things seem to happen. Yeah, if you're not already in there, jump in. We do weekly co-op and speed mapping. Getting a bit more ambitious with things like the WRESTLEMAPIAs. There'll be more of that. They'll be opened up to the community for participants to join in. So if you're looking for some absolute memory, this is the place to be. So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. I think we are done. Unless anyone's got anything else they want to add. Pineapple's gesturing.
Oh yeah, I guess I could say something. Yeah, one thing I forgot to plug is my OnlyFans. So if you want some
Yikes!
big old green tuft.
Yes, if you want like to get that sweet pineapple flesh, join Blue Pineapple's OnlyFans. Don't confuse it with the blue waffle over
You
here.
like Pianist Salada. You'll love. Yeah.
Bruh. Oh, for fuck's
Very
sake!
good.
Why so many bots? Jesus Christ, why?
Well, I mean, to get a little serious, to break character a bit, this was wonderful to coordinate, wonderful to just have fun. This was a great event. Love doing it. Arlene, you were a fantastic opponent. I look forward to doing this again sometime in the future and to get back into character. Fuck you, Arlene. I won this competition. You know what? I'm the greatest fucking mapper in this fucking call right now. This is a shame. It's corporate fucking what's the word?
Talk
Corrupt.
to the
Nasty. It's
finger.
disgusting. What the fuck? It's a travesty. Come on. Awful. Come on, Pineapple 416, y'all.
I'll tell you to shut up as an employee of the Hellforge Federation, but this is good business.
Wow.
Nope, this has been
I
great.
smell money.
Keep dancing for me, puppets.
Yeah, there's weird stuff going on behind the scenes. Come on, you watched the stream. I won it. Come on. Ridiculous. Unbelievable.
The salt is quite real.
Be
Hey, it's not
patient,
salty.
Pineapple.
Pineapple's becoming cracked.
It took more than one day for the revolution to take effect. It took more than one day for the American Revolution to take effect. And it's going to take more than one day for the Doom World Order Revolution to take effect. So we'll knock down
Gonna tear it down.
the establishment. Yeah, one brick and mortar at a time if we have to.
Stay tuned, everyone. Alright, I think we are done. Thanks, everyone. That was
Thank
a
you,
fuckload of
guys.
fun. We'll go find a lovely Doomer to raid.
We got Zul and Nevenos.
Fuck, I just saw
Oh,
Dev just died on map 26 of his
Oh
Sunlusty.
man, he's detailing. Let's go give him some support.
Yeah, let's go boost Nev. He's attempting decent walls for Sunless. Epic challenge. Following Derek's footsteps, definitely give him a follow if you don't. But you don't want to miss this shit. This is real groundbreaking gameplay. One of the most talented Doom players out there on the planet by far. Thanks, Alethos. Thank you for hanging out, and everyone else. Eros and Mr. Cat and Cherub and Steve and Empty Cell and Paul Entropy and Emperor Spoon and John Slickman and Godzilla and
Good night, everybody.
Bye.
Night. All right,
That was fun.
that was very
I gotta
fun.
say, that was one of the more fun events I've ever had the pleasure of casting. It's
Yeah,
very
that was a blast.
relaxed.
Huge.
You know, it was like a
to be,
no
like,
pressure
the
casting,
dream.
whereas usually the work I do is like super.
What's up, Arlene?
No, I was actually a little
What's
bit
up,
nervous
Rich?
before that. It was very relaxed. It was really
Well,
fun. Really
you
fun.
guys missed it.
I think given the lack of planning we actually
You
did,
guys
couldn't
all
have turned
missed
out
it.
better.
'Cause,
Yeah, I think so.
I got
Yeah.
to map 24.
Yeah, that was great. I mean,
It's
I got to map
freezing
24
in this
that,
basement,
which is
so having Blake,
great progress.
my
for 20 minutes per
bones
day.
fail me while I'm mapping.
Yeah.
Wonderful, but it's still just, yeah, that was great.
What was you
Well,
guys doing?
I'm really excited to see what this becomes
What was
in
even
the future.
happening?
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,